What's happening, traders? Welcome back to another episode of Market in the Morning. I'm your host, Kevin Dubrisky. Apologies on the minute delay there, but guys, who's ready for another great day in the markets? We absolutely killed it yesterday on SPX or ES shorts, some NASDAQ shorts as well. Markets ended up rebounding about midway throughout the day, but we were able to capitalize on those shorts in our pre-market and New York session. Dropped 800 points on NASDAQ yesterday within 30 minutes. A crazy drop right there. So guys, hit that like and subscribe button if you're ready to make some money today, because Market in the Morning starts right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started on the fundamentals. See if anything happened overnight, if there were any big headlines, anything that we should be aware of as traders. And because we're not glued to our screens overnight, that's why we use such a fantastic tool like Market. So let's take a look at our breaking news headlines, see if anything major came out. We see Beijing steps on police presence, nothing major. Stock slip is Apple price hikes. So this is pretty big, something we should be aware of, right? Apple's increasing prices. This is a bit of a domino effect that we're seeing from Micron beating earnings, doing very well, increasing their prices, which causes Apple to increase their prices for the users. And it's, again, that domino effect, right? We're in a trickle-down economy in the opposite direction. Elon hit trillionaire status, and companies are increasing prices. At some point, the economy is going to start to crack at this pace. And of course, guys, today is Friday, so we do have the one and only No Lab joining us. What's up, bro?
Kevin?
Good morning, man. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, bro. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, bro. Another week gone, another great, profitable week. Lots of stuff that went on in the markets.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Let's end it off with a good session, good learning session, good trading session.
Bro, you know it. I'm expecting some more bear moves today on the S&P and NASDAQ. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm glad that, first of all, ES is out of that consolidation that we were in for majority of the week, where we're like, hey guys, like don't get too caught up in the buys right now, because we're still correct in that corrective structure. Exactly how you pulled up. Market is also showing that slightly bearish buys on the intraday time frame. One thing that I would like to keep in mind is, again, we're approaching that 5% pullback area that we pulled back to, if you remember, in early June, and that's when the low was printed. So we are approaching that area, and that is an area I would be mindful of. Of course, we can always dig deeper, but that is just what's in our way for sellers to drive price down into. Would be a nice area for them to really exercise those sell orders and then push them deeper into that demand at 7,300. We'll likely see intraday buyers grab their piece of the pie and just do that exchange, right? Yeah. On the higher time frame, we are still very bullish, but intraday, we are seeing that bit of consolidation in a much larger range. So you have to keep in mind that when the buys do come and when sentiment shifts a bit more bullish on S&P, you'll get that inflows and you'll see it come back up to 7,600, 7,640s, right? So we know we're still very bullish on US equities, but short-term corrections are normal and they are healthy. So as traders, we must keep that in mind. And I repeat this day in, day out, that the market moves in waves. The market isn't just going to move in a singular direction at all times. We had large sell-offs play out on gold for over the past week, and now we went into a bit more of a corrective and retracement phase. Even yesterday during Asian market hours, you saw gold sell off, but it only sold off to the previously known demand zone, which we clearly exemplified on PCE data right over here. So when we see this type of sell-off happening going into Asian session, we got to be a bit more careful, because gold is running out of steam right now, right? And it's very apparent because you do have seller exhaustion here. You have buyers jumping in, right? Actively printing higher lows. You had PCE data, right? It came out on forecast, right on market forecast. So it added to relief on gold. Gold reached a new lower high, created this lower high, and then sold off during Asian session, only for buyers to jump back in right at the top of this demand and price sensitivity area. So when I see this move and I wake up to this bullish play overnight, I'm now going to be a bit more considerate in understanding that, hey, this might be extend into a bit more of a larger corrective phase, just like we see before. Just like you see over here, larger corrective phase. Just like you see over here, a bit more of a larger corrective phase. and just like you see over here. So now when I start looking at current price action and I go into a bit more of the lower time frame, I see a few things that are happening here. I see that price is still above this area that we previously created a high at yesterday. However, price is also right below 40, 50, and 55. And this is, I think, around 40, 80 on GC, right? 40, 80, 40, 75, around that area. So we are still technically within this range over here. If we were to break towards the upside, then you'd get that deeper retracement as we were talking about. And where can we go? We just have to look left. We can just go up to 4090s and 4100 area. However, if we don't see that sort of price action and we see price coming back below here, as a scalper, you can start to look for those sells that are going to take you down to the next key level, which in this case is 4025 over here, right? Being a psych level, and your next level would be 4,000 right there. So that is what we see over here, is that you have these highs, you have price currently in between these two levels at 40, 44, 40, 55, very tight range. If we were to see breaks towards the upside and this area continuously holding, which it has been holding throughout the session, if this area continues to hold, that's when you get those plays towards the upside and you'll get that deeper retracement. So if you're a scalper and you see that sort of price action happening, you can look for two things. And the reason I would be a bit more careful on this, because overall this is a bit more counter trend, but I'm a bit more confident in the buys playing out during this session. As one thing I want to just show is that daily needs some sort of retracement. It might not be too much. It might be a little bit push higher, but if we can break a bit out of this lower time frame range over here towards the upside, then you're going to see this play out, and it'll play out fast, right? Like it'll play out in a matter of like 30 minutes or so. We'll get that squeeze towards the upside, just like how we got a squeeze above these highs that were printed before PCE data. It'll be like a similar squeezing into a price point that is a bit more attractive to sellers on gold, right? Otherwise, another thing that we have always kept in mind is how to play these types of moves on the downside as well. As you all should know by now, is that markets are a game of probabilities, and there's only two probabilities that happen. Either it plays out on the buy side or it plays out on the sell side. And that's why even on market, we give you scenarios so that you can adapt to. And if you remember Flip Watch that came out yesterday, you would have recalled that PCE data came out and there was a Flip Watch on gold telling you, hey, this may short-term affect the bearish bias. And guess what? We did get that inflows into gold all the way until basically end of day. So now gold can continue off of these lows that we're printing. And another good indication would be coming right back above 50s, right? You come back above 50s, you potentially break these highs, and then gold starts chugging away for its deeper retracement, right? Excuse me. But if it's unable to, again, break above 50, maintain above these highs, if it doesn't do that, then you have similar price action that's going to play out where you see continuation towards the downside as this area was clearly respected and we got break of these lows, which then we'd evaluate and see how price reacts here. But either way, you can start to now understand that we on gold are at a critical lower time frame range over here. The reason why this is a bit more critical is that we have just pushed up in overnight. Okay. We pushed up overnight. We're right now above yesterday's price, yesterday's high over here. Okay. Now, in order to continue pushing higher, and if this is an actual deeper retracement, gold is going to have to trade above 40.55. The minute gold trades above 40.55, you're going to see that squeeze head off into the next logical price point. Now, if that doesn't happen, and this is actually just sellers building their orders, and you start seeing rejections here and breaks below, then you can get more aligned on the sell side, continuation below this price level where you snap back and then continue down, right? But what we are seeing right now is actively this area being respected. This area gets respected for the past 2 hours and continuing off of this bullish momentum. So if we close above 50s and start breaking above these highs in the lower time frame, now you have that positioning to continue higher. And if you just want to align yourself with the trend, I just suggest waiting for these scenarios over here at 40.94, 4,130, as we talked about yesterday as well. I love doing that. I love being patient so I can then execute when the opportunity is right. Now, let's say we push up and we continue pushing. You think an attempt here doesn't play out, whoop-de-doo. Move on with your day. It's a Friday. Don't get lost in the markets on a Friday. That's the worst thing you could do, is come to the markets on a Friday expecting a great setup or a great move, right? Now, with that downside scenario that we were talking about, I'm just going to hide this for a second. That downside plays out if we take out these lows. And then what it seems like and what price would be telling us is that, hey, we rejected 55s, right? We rejected this. We created a lower high here. We weren't able to maintain above here, continue down, squeeze towards the downside to the next key level, and then watch and observe and see how buyers react specifically to 4,000. Since we're currently above 4,000, buyers defended the lows yesterday as well. So clearly the buyers over here did not want price to come back down. So what happened? That low got defended, right? You can see that bullish momentum and pressure on gold currently, that there are buyers down at this area. It's not a one-sided market that we were seeing last week where every single pullback was getting sold off, right? Even the pullback that did get sold off over here only reached a new higher low in the lower time frame, and then we continue to push to get more liquidity towards the upside. And now what we're seeing on gold is that exact same thing, that we're failing to break back above 50. So now if we have these lows get taken out, then you'll get that squeeze towards the downside, which even in that case, it's still like a nice 200 points, right? So that's just something. It's gold is in a critical area over here, is that we're still underneath that resistance. So I'm still bearish. Like, you see what I mean, Kevin? Like this low over here, this area over here, we're still under it. So now if I start to see that bearish structure shifting and building over here, I know that once this low gets taken out and we get retest, as long as we maintain below 52, we're good for the downside as well. We're good. That's still a high probability play. Just because a move like this happens overnight and we push right above these highs, most traders, what they would start to do is, as soon as price starts coming above 50 right here, they would start looking for sells. Now, see, this is what I mean, is that this low, once this gets out, it's going to be a squeeze. So you can best believe that you should, why did that change? Oh, so now we're going to observe here on this break, either now that we have confirmation of like this high clearly held, this held, this held. Now, if we don't reject this again and continue above 52, then if we don't do that, then you'll get that continued downside once this low breaks, right? Or given like some sort of price movement like this, because price can move quite erratically, right? If we don't get that, then you'll get that continued downside. But if gold respects this, then again, I would be careful, because we could push higher into the 4100s, and then you can scalp the breaks above, but be careful as you need some sort of range, right, to target. Yeah. So that's something that I'm looking for, is that this is that lower time frame zone that I would be a bit more careful of in the lower time frames. But this is also that resistance area that I see currently sellers stepping in at, right? So the sellers clearly are entering those trades at 40.55. And what's that shown us over the past 2 hours is that right now we are seeing that exhaustion happen over here. And that exhaustion is now dependent on how this area holds and whether this area holds or breaks. If this area breaks, then you're going to see, algorithmic triggering of orders in the market. That's what causes that mass squeeze, right? And orders coming in fast. If the buyers are really defending the area and this bullish pressure holds, once you get breaks of this high, confirmations to ride those buys towards the upside. But as you can tell, currently we're just ranging. When price action looks like barcode, all you can do is wait for more information, right? Just like how yesterday, PCE, leading up to PCE, price action was barcode. Until PCE came out, we got more information. Market showed you the flip watch, and you were able to understand, hey, we're going to get that potential inflows into gold for the time being. Doesn't mean that they're all of a sudden now we're not going to see selling pressure happen. We most definitely will and can see it happen. It's just a matter of where, right? Sentiment overall has not shifted on gold. This is just short-term inflows that we're seeing after reaching new intraday and daily lows. So we know the market moves in waves, as we're talking about. We know that there's an area here where that was a previous price sensitivity area. We also understand that there's higher liquidity points for sellers to come in if the buyers were to hold strength. And that's the game. It's that it's always an exchange between buyers and sellers. And as traders, we have to look for the logical opportunities at the correct price handles. There's always a price handle that's going to be met before the move starts. And what I mean by that is that there's always, if price needs to go to a certain area, like let's say your downside target right now is 40.50, and you're looking in this range and you're like, yep, that's a big downside target. You must understand that until there will be a price point that gets met before the move starts. In this case, being 43.75, and then we got those outflows starting once we also had the catalyst, right? Over here, same thing. We had a retracement. We had price push all the way to 45.93, not 45.91. This is coming from 2,000 pip lows at 4,300s, right? So massive retracement, but the buys still held through. So it doesn't matter how deep this retracement can go. Gold still a sell, just as much of an attractive sell at 4,200 as it was at 4,100, right? As long as the bias remains, as long as we're not seeing a shift in the fundamental bias, then you're still aligned on the right side. Once you get the shift in the fundamental bias, that's when we're like, okay, you know what? Structure is shifting on gold, and it's shifting in a manner that I have to change my long-term positioning. Right? Just because we got to bounce off lows doesn't mean that long-term positioning has changed and we're going to see gold buys all the way back till 5K, right? Like I'll be the first to tell you, hey guys, we got to buy gold now. Sells are done. Like markets are not going to give a shit about the sellers anymore. Start buying. I'll be the first to tell you that because I love buying. As much as I love shorting gold, I love buying gold. Gold buys are amazing. Like they run, once you just let them run, they run. But same with the sells. So if we just follow the macro narrative and bias, we're going to hold true and increase our probabilities of success. Now, remember, the market isn't just dependent, and it's not going to move and fill this range today. The reason why it's not going to do that, the markets are very forward-looking, and they're paying attention to next week's data. Before we jump into it, we have a webinar. Kevin, if you can send the link, through the economic data as well.
Yeah, so, give me a second to pull that up.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. So next week, we have economic data, and it is on July 2nd instead of on a Friday, right? So we have non-farm payrolls, initial jobless claims, and unemployment rate plus average hourly earnings. Banger after banger of labor market data on a Thursday. We are so blessed to have such a banger of a Thursday next week. Now, what I want to pay attention to is how NFP and unemployment rate play out. You can see unemployment rate is forecasted to remain the same at 4.3%, okay? With a minimum being 4.2 and a maximum being right at 4.3, right? So now if this is a surprise, whether towards the downside or the upside, that's when you'll get greater volatility in the markets. You'll get more aligned movements across correlated asset classes. But if these start to differ, where NFP is forecast at 110, previously was 172, which was the massive surprise that we saw, right? And that massive surprise. Oh, you know what? I just came up with a cool idea. Let me just say it here because I know I'm going to forget it. I have 10,000 things on my mind. What we're going to do, since this was a surprise, it'd be cool to be able to click here, see the surprise and impact on the chart. Perfect. We got timestamp is 8:41 a.m. I'm going to tell my engineering team to look at this time. Okay, that'd be cool, right? So you click this and be able to see it. Anyways, so the minimum being 75,000 and maximum being 160K. Also, just want to mention that gold's breaking towards the downside, like I was talking about. So this could lead to that squeeze towards 40.25, which if you're a scalper and you have taken this sort of sell side move, you want to be a bit careful as we dig deeper into 40.25. Let's say you're a scalper, you're like, oh yeah, but my target, the lab said expand your time horizon. My target is 4K. Buddy, it's a Friday. Take what you can get on a Friday. Leave it running, but like secure a majority of your positions for 1 to 2.22, and then let the rest of it run till oblivion or destruction. But getting back to it, so NFP is expected within those ranges of 75K and 160,000. Remember, previous was 172. As long as we're within this range and around the above the forecast, good data, right? It's not going to be too much excess volatility since the range is still high. Forecast 180, max is 160. So we'll see how these job numbers play out. And it'll be cool to see how after such a hot jobs report that led to massive downside across overall US equities, gold, and overall asset classes, how that will play out going into this next week. So that's what the markets are focused on. And that's why I don't think that the markets are just going to do a clean sell-off all the way till down here today. But I do think the markets can at least come to 40.25 on gold or 4,000 on gold, right? And that's just what I would be looking for if I'm a scalper. And that's exactly what we broke down here, is that I mentioned, guys, like we still have this resistance area. Although we're above these highs, and I know a lot of people get that confused, is that they see price above previous highs and automatically switch bullish. Remember the pathway that I laid out is that we would have to maintain above 50s and then above 55 for that squeeze on the bull side to happen. Otherwise, we can pretty much see price trying to correct large part of this move over here. And that's the positioning I want you all to think about the markets as. It's that just because price is up here above these highs doesn't make it a better buy. It actually makes it a worse buy. You get what I mean? It makes it a worse buy until you get confirmations that price and the market actually wants to head towards the upside. In a largely bearish trend on gold, we don't want to be taking buys from 40.50 when we know the resistance at 40.55 is holding from a few days ago, right? The same areas that we had marked out a few days ago held. So that's what I mean. It's like you want to do your technical analysis, but you want it to align with the fundamentals, and you need it to align with the fundamentals. Yes, price could have broken above 55 and then continued to squeeze into 4K. We were prepped for that, okay? We were prepped for that. Yes, price can also come down to here, shift in structure, and continue towards the upside, which is also fine. And that's what I meant, is that the markets are forward looking for NFP, right? Now, we are currently below these highs, these lows. If price doesn't maintain, hold below at least 50 over here, if it doesn't and it continues back, snaps back above, I would be a bit more careful if you're scalping. I'm personally not taking anything right now, just because it's a Friday. I'm more patient for these intraday, but this is a good setup that this is worth taking. I'd rather just wait till next week. I know that I performed great this week. I'm very content with and satisfied with my performance. And now I'm just doing market in the morning to guide you guys on a Friday. So if you're in these cells, your 1 to 2 is right here, right? And you're aligned with the fundamental bias, so it increases the probability of heading towards a downside. Now, let's say that does not happen. Instead, you get a snap back into this range. That's when you'd want to start managing and seeing how price basically reacts like this, right? And if that starts to happen and you close back above these these lows, then you start observing structure. Otherwise, the pathway is clear to 40.25, right? So that's what I mean. It's also Friday. If you're trading and you've made money this week, trade, risk a little less, risk some profits, so that you're not going to tilt on a random Friday, right? Just because you couldn't sit still and you couldn't stop pressing keys on your keyboard or on your MT5 or whatever you trade with. So that's what the markets are focused on for next week, is that we have that unemployment and NFP data, and then guess what? The week after that, we got CPI, baby. So today's PCE wasn't the only main thing that was happening, right? Sorry, am I on the wrong? Is CPI not next week? The week after that? I swear.
I'll check.
Or it might be the following week. But anyways, you can see, even like regardless if it was the following week, how that sentiment holds, right? Like when we had that NFP data, where'd it go? It feels like months back, right? Because like that's how much the markets move, that some of these movements start feeling like it's taking place over a course of weeks, but it's just days. Like this is NFP, and that sentiment held for the following week, right? So that that sort of price movement and sentiment, once it's set in stone, man, it becomes a feast, you know? It becomes a feast. So we had a break below here, but prices right now reacting right to these lows. I keep calling these highs, right to these lows, and we'll see how it reacts here. But as I mentioned, if we snap above here and we start closing again into this range, then this looks more like a liquidity move, liquidity grab for buyers, then drive price up to 55s. Again, it's not the cleanest price action, but if you're just using the same fundamentals and concepts that we talk about, then as long as this area holds over here, that downside is going to be slow but sustained, right? If we break above, as we were previously mentioning, that if that sort of movement happens, and I'm only expecting short-term downside for buyers to jump in. I do think gold needs a deeper pullback here. And I do really like how daily was forming. And I'll open up a different gold chart just so I don't have to converge the drawings here. As daily starts, now we have 3 daily candles around this area. Once we broke above this wick, I was like, okay, we're either going to squeeze towards the upside or just push a little bit higher, maybe even to these candle bodies over here on daily at 40.69, 40.70 before we see sellers try to attempt to jump and jump back in. But the fact that we peaked out at 40.55 and now we are getting these series of like lower highs printing and lower lows and actively breaks below here, retest. If we maintain there, now you can see how we can start to head down here and what that price anatomy and structure starts to really look like, right? I think that's pretty clear. And then what we do is we observe what happens to price action here. Do buyers try to hold 40.25 because it's a psychological level and we were bullish overnight? Or is this move getting corrected? And that's where you wait for more information. We don't know what's going to happen over here. You could mentally have a target of up here, down here, but doesn't mean market's going to hit it. Market could come down to here, buyers jump in, and then what are you going to do, right? And then boom, game over. They jump in, or exactly what we were mentioning here, if price doesn't hold here and buyers come in and you see that push towards the upside and you see price holding here when it comes down to retrace in the lower time frame, then you got to start managing your position if you're in sells, right? That sort of sell play then won't play out. And that's where that management comes in, right? You don't have to let it run full to your stop loss. If you have conviction, you understand what's happening, right? So things to keep in mind. But that would be invalid if we took out this low, right? So see what I mean? It's a game of probability. Sometimes ideas like this will play out with these. Other times, it'll just be a quick liquidity move where you see price action jump in. And then instead of heading towards a downside, you get that push here and price starts telling you, hey, no, this isn't a move towards a downside, that we're just now getting that liquidity. And now we're going to see breaks above 55, retest of 50, and then squeeze towards the upside, right? Does that make sense? How it's such a critical point. That's why I was like, hey, I'd rather not stay in. I'd rather not be in currently, just because you don't want to be getting caught up in a mess on a Friday.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially, great point on it's Friday. We had a great trading week. If you're in profits, don't be giving it back.
Let it go, right?
Nope, let it go. Real quick, I just want to cover on gold. This is the zone that I've been calling out and waiting on for the past few days now, right in this 40.60 to 40.72. We missed it on Wednesday. We did not hit it. Thursday, we were a few points away, and then today we're finally seeing the consolidation and a bit of a push lower. So I would like to see some follow through to the downside today. Daily time frame wise, we know we had strong momentum. Could even look to mark out a previous day high and see that, okay, this is sort of my area that I'm watching. If we could stay below this, I'm going to look for that strength. Same with the open price. But if we do fail it, then yeah, we're probably just going to see, like you said, a squeeze up real quick towards 40.90 on GC. And that would be around 40.75 on XAU USD.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, man, a lot of the times I've tried to chase a move, and honestly, majority of the times when we try to chase moves, we get caught up in the emotions of it.
Yep.
And you don't want to do that, especially on a Friday.
No.
So like I was mentioning, like this level was holding, right? And Kevin was talking about it too. But what we start seeing now, exactly what you're talking about, we've snapped right back above that level.
Yeah.
Now, as long as this holds and we hold this now, you're going to see buyers potentially defend this. But if this high holds, then you start to see, okay, oops, sorry. Right? But you can see how choppy price is moving. This is the same sort of movement we were having yesterday during Asian session, where price is just moving choppy, but it's still maintaining that structure, right? You're
Yeah.
still maintaining these highs, creating these lower highs right here. And this is actually where I didn't manage a trade well. I had this entry over here on gold sells. By down here, I had set it to break even, and then the 9 p.m. Eastern candle, Shanghai open, took me out at break even, and then we hit my target at 85. The reason I had my target at 85 and not 75 is just because of this price sensitivity. Is that I was expecting price to dig into here, buyers jump in. I had a buy limit at 75, which completely missed by just about 80 pips. But you know what? You can't do anything about that. I didn't end up chasing it just because I didn't get an entry after that. And my price point was 75. You know, I always say, like, yo, if your price point hasn't been met, don't chase it. Like, there's no point. If you're looking for sells at 4,100 and price starts moving after double, like let's just pretend it double tops here and price continues down, don't chase it. Like, you don't have to chase it. If this is what you were looking for and this is what you're looking for, don't settle for less, right? Same thing when you're trying to find a life partner, and you're not going to just settle for someone who's not going to bring you happiness, right? Or who's going to push you. This type of trade pushes you, makes you be more patient, helps you build that conviction and trade idea. And when it comes, bang, you snipe on it. And then you're like, wow, that was a very profitable trade because all I did was remain patient. I didn't get caught up in the motions and waves that the market tried to swing me through. It's like you got to be like the rocks against the ocean wall, right? Like, water is going to push against you. You have to be the rocks on a cliffside of the ocean, that regardless of the pressure, regardless of the tide, the intensity of the water, you're going to remain still in the markets. And that is very hard, especially when you're in a trade or you see the market moving in such a mass volatile way that you get FOMO induced. That's where you're like, hey, you know what? Markets are abundant. Nalab told me market opportunities are endless. Every session we go to, there's buy opportunity, there's a sell opportunity. You know what? Maybe I'll just do something else right now. I won't pay too much attention to getting lost in the markets, because you can't afford to do that. Every mistake you make here is a good lesson, but if you keep repeating the same mistakes over and over, you're just chasing your own tail, right? You're going to go in a circle. Gold right now is above here, above these lows, snap back above. Now, either we go up towards here and see how we react at 55. If we hold this area 43, then 55 looks likely to break, because we just snapped back above here. We got that liquidity. We tapped into this lower time frame area, and then we could do something like this, you know, towards the upside. Ignore that. My mouse just glitched, right? But the opposite end is, if 50s were to hold, then you'd get a hold of this lower high. That's why it's in such an area that buyers are holding through right now. And these types of pullbacks, even if we came down to here, would likely get bought right back up. That's why I was like, if you're looking for sell, don't hold your TP to 4,000 just because it's a nice number. Market doesn't have to go there. They're forward looking. They're waiting on NFP data for next week. And until then, you know that's going to be like one of the biggest catalysts that we get to see, right? So yeah, that's essentially what I'm waiting for. We had a fantastic week. What I would suggest everybody do is, from the start of the week, you should go through it and observe price action and how it played out and how you could have caught some of these big plays. One of the things that really brought me consistency is that every Friday I would record these webinars, and a lot of the people here probably know about it. If you were in like Capital Hungry, you would know that I record these webinars called optimal entries, where every single week I would go through, map out where I took trades, where I could have improved, and what could have been the most optimal entry for me to take. And what that resulted in is it resulted in me being able to catch plays like this with pinpoint accuracy, where we had market open on Sunday, and I took the buys going into this zone. when we were consolidating, and I took the first one at the first tap, and then I added positions over here plus more in the next following morning when we were back at this price point, because I understand now how to take the most optimal entry when the market is at my price zone. And once you start doing that over and over every single week, you'll start to understand that, wow, the same shit happens day in, day out. That, wow, now that we snap, like I was saying, if we snap back above here and we hold this, I'm expecting us to push above 50 and go into 55, because I've seen this happen. And that's how I know it's a game of probabilities, because there's the other side of the probability too, that we break down and we continue down to 40.25 before buyers come in. But what ended up happening was market showed us more information over here that buyers actually claimed this. And now there's that squeeze happening that we were talking about, right? There's that squeeze that I was talking about, that once we snap back above here, and I mentioned it on the second bullish candle, that if this doesn't hold and we snap back above, you can see buyers defending this, and we'll see how we react over here. Either we get a squeeze or we get rejection of this, price continues down, and we fade out this, right? But the fact that this held right now, we'll see what type of information we get here. And it looks like we're going to get that squeeze that's going to come towards the upside, digging into deeper 80s.
Yep. Dollar weakness too. Dollar new low of day.
Yep. Dollar weakness too as well. Dollar's creating. I would be careful. I just want to see how dollar reacts over here. Like 101.404. Sorry. That area is very key. Just because if I go here for a second.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, 101.4 is the area I'm watching on dollar, and just this overall wick as well. So I want to see how dollar reacts here. And gold's downside is going to be heavily reliant on dollar upside. So if dollar is not pumping, then you're not going to see those outflows from gold, and instead you'll start to see that squeeze towards that upside, right? So if anybody caught these buys, let us know. Once you got that snapback above, then you take those buys on this consolidation, or even above that 50s and above 55 as well, if you're a scalper looking for that squeeze.
Look at that. Nice squeeze, bro. Good call.
Somebody said optimal entry, one of the reasons I became better at trading. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Yo, great breakdown on gold now.
Thanks, man. And this is adapting, right? This is adapting. You see one thing taking place, you get a bit more information a few minutes after, and you adapt. Take the buys, 40. Yeah, good
nice.
Stuff, man. Good stuff.
Nice entry.
Good stuff. And that's the optimal entry here, actually. It's literally within this 1 minute consolidation range right here. And then you have your optimal entry coming in, come right there, and then that's your squeeze towards the upside, right? Digging into now.
Squeezing. Wow, look at that. Flying on gold.
Even above, if you're a scalper and you have that entry above 40.55 as well.
Beautiful. Sky high. We're heading towards 40.90 on GC.
So you see how the anatomy of price action is that these lows get taken out. You see price, once it snaps back above, either it's going to respect these lows, continue to the next level. And that's why I said we're going to watch level by level, right? We're going to watch things level by level. So either we go down to the next level and then we see buyers jump in because this buyers held overnight, or we see just continuation once we snap back above. And that's where that price anatomy comes in, and understanding how price action can really move. GC tapped into 40.80, which is that key, nearing that key like area right here on this price sensitivity. So I just want to see how gold futures also react at these highs.
Awesome, bro.
Because you can see that dollar right now, we're getting some sort of exactly at that area, Kevin. 101.404, like down to the level where we drew that at. So see, this is what I mean. If now dollar starts pumping from here, you're gonna see gold close right back in this range, and then potentially continue. This is what I mean, is that it's a session that you don't want to get caught up on both sides at. And that's why I came to it. I'm like, yeah, we really need to wait for next week to see proper continued sustainable downside moves, right? So just like I was saying, GC 40.80, yeah, that's a clean rejection right now for the time being. And we're right below these highs again. You see what I mean? It's two sides right now. And the last thing you'd want to do is get chopped up on both ends.
Yeah. Nah, stay patient. Stay patient. I'm waiting on. I'll probably look for some ESNQ trades today. Love the price action we got yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure. Half a second here.
Sorry, I didn't even realize I was sharing my full screen.
Oh, bro, you're good. Give me 1 second. Just put together. There we go. Awesome. So Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. Nah, I don't want Amazon in there.
Yeah, that's a good comment by Seb. If buyers reclaim 4,100 on GC, it's going to be a big squeeze. Yeah, that squeeze is going to go deeper. If 4,100 was to get claimed, that squeeze would, like, it could extend to 4,250. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it would go much deeper than just 4,100 at that point.
Yeah,
4150s, 4,200, like these price points up here. Yeah, which would be great for as a gold seller. I'd love that. Give me that right now.
Yeah. Make this move happen right now.
So you see, it's just ping-ponging happening. You want to see how price reacts right at these lows, these highs over here. Whether if this holds, then you get that price action towards the upside, or if 50s holds as well. Otherwise, if dollar continues to pump here, and that's what this is dependent on. If dollars continues this, man, and corrects this move, gold downside is going to come in.
Yeah, that would be wild. That'd be wild. Guys, don't forget, add alerts, right? Add an alert. If you know you're not going to be looking at the chart the whole time, add an alert so you're alerted. Be aware.
Yep. See, now we're snapping right back into this. And if we close below 50s with dollar continuing its upside, then you have gold making its way down to these lows.
Nice.
Yeah, this is where it's very dependent on how dollar reacts right here and whether this dollar's upside gets sustained or not. Right? Hopefully that makes sense for everybody?
100%, bro. 100%. Killer, bro. The gold sniper over here.
Yeah, it's just honestly, if you just stick to one market and you learn the ins and outs of it, then you can transfer those skill sets onto any market, right? But you shouldn't start off by looking at and trying to trade 7 different tickers. No. You should come with, hey, I'm going to stick and just focus on one, and then put all your attention and energy towards mastering that one market.
That's it. Trade equities, right? ESNQ, they go hand in hand. Trade gold, you trade gold. Keep an eye on the dollar. But jumping around, you want to be a master of one, not a jack of all trades.
Absolutely. US Iran to hold technical talks at expert level, guys. It's
Send the expert JD Vance over there.
JD Vance, expert JD Vance coming through reporting for diplomatic talks. Yeah, but look at oil. Oil's just been, man.
Oh yeah, what's oil doing today?
Oil's right at 669. It was at 69, about to fill this range, 67, I think. Yeah, oil. See, this is what we were talking about, is that pre-war band of price is still in that lower 60s into that 50s and lower 50s, right? So we've seen, and we said don't buy oil now. Like, when we approached this, and we actively saw when we approached this area, which was previously known for escalations, right? Every time we reached it, we had escalations, because it's much better for gold, for oil escalations, that war escalations happen when oil's at 75 than it is at 101, because psychologically that's horrible. For 104, and you see Trump coming out saying we're going to bomb Iran, and bombings do start happening, oil's going to go into 150s. Like, that's something the world cannot afford to happen. So that once that started playing out, where every oil buy from this area kept getting faded out, we were the first ones to say, guys, don't buy oil anymore. Like, just leave it. Diplomatic talks are literally holding the most weight on oil currently, and you can see that the gaps down, every single escalation that's been getting faded out, escalation, faded out, pullback, faded out. So gold, there you go. See, there's that dollar pushing up as well, and you have GC rejecting 680s as well. So for the time being right now, this is that mess I was talking about. I don't want to get caught up in it. I don't want to be trying to take buys here, take sells here. Just stay out of it. This is where you exercise that patience. There's big data that's happening next week, and I'd rather just put my focus and energy on next week. I've already taken my piece of the pie from the markets this week. And if that's you, if you've taken what the market was going to give, then just leave it. Leave it today. Dollars right now pushing back to these lows. See how we react here again. But yeah, just leave it, right? Gold is back in this range. I don't want to force anything. Let's focus on markets that are a bit more cleaner today. So when we look at ES, Kevin was mentioning he wants to see some more downside, right, Kevin?
Yes,
we're talking about some downside, which can head off deeper into what area are you looking at?
So I'd like to see, ideally, I'd rather see us move higher off the open to give us a better pullback entry near 74.28. Downside target wise, we really, like you said, that 5% level is huge. Right now we're in a bit of a support area. If you look on the 2 hour, the 1 hour time frame, this is a point where price consolidated before we rallied on June 11th.
Yeah, and we called out those buys like this one, sorry, the following, once we got this confirmation of this change in structure, the following day we called it out.
Yep.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. There's a bit of a deeper demand area right here.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like as much as we do have that demand there, right? Knowing the fundamentals, knowing the Fed's more hawkish pivot, I don't know, and I don't think it's going to hold, but I also don't want to be the one that tries to short inside an area of support and then is like, oh, why did I get stopped out? Oh, I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have sold there. Like, just wait for the reaction, let markets confirm for you.
Absolutely. 100%. That wait for that confirmation. And I repeat this a lot, that we have a few solid decisions we can make in a single day. And I don't want to waste all those decisions on the shittiest trades possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So,
save your capital.
Yeah, exactly. It's meant, you have limited mental capacity to deal with bullshit. And I don't want to be taking bullshit trades majority, especially at the start of the week or like end of the week. It's just like you're setting yourself up for failure. See, there you go. You have dollar pumping, you're rejecting the 104. You have gold outflows happening. See, take out highs, take out lows here, take out highs here. Dollar starts pumping, and boom, people get caught up on both sides. That's why I was like, guys, the optimal trades for that buy. If you took the buy here, worst case, you take break even, or you took a small squeeze of 200 pips, right? Now, for the sell side, we were talking about if dollar pushes up from here, then you have gold sellers coming back in, and you'll snap back below 50s, which is exactly what happened. We snapped back below here, and then you had dollar start holding that double bottom, and then gold came right below 50s. Now, do you see what I mean? Like, do you see how dependent that was on the US dollar moving and how gold reacts to here? Sorry, how dollar reacts to 101.04. Exactly how we marked up on this wick is that was such a key area that once Kevin said dollar selling out, I'm like, hey, we got to watch this area. If this holds, then you're going to see that gold outflows. And if it continues to hold, then guess what? Gold's coming to 40.25 right in this session.
Yep. That's it, bro. That's it. New York session opens in 20 minutes. So even now, right? Wait on the ES, wait on the NQ. We're not jumping in knowing that New York session opens in 20 minutes and volume will 10x at that point.
Yeah. And thank you, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for all these wonderful reviews you guys have left us over the past.
Send the link.
Yeah, I'll send a link right now in the chat. Thank you so much. Like this absolutely blew my mind. It warmed my heart. So I truly appreciate it. The creators of this space are geniuses. I cannot comprehend not the only amount of content, but the quality of content. The website is a game changer in trading space. It's more than high impact news and high low targets. Certain news events create specific movements. They track that. Info alerts and high impact news are in real time. They even have a Trump. Man, come on. Thank you so much. Great compliment. My trading mentor over at HTL. Beautifully, I can't imagine trading without this platform. Wow. Thank you so much for that.
What a compliment.
Such a beautiful, kind review. And there's countless ones. This one, 4-star. I recently discovered MRKT AI due to our amazing mentor, Mel Reed. And since signing up, it has been a game changer in my trading experience and gains. Thank you so much for delivering so much information and knowledge. Thank you, guys. Truly appreciate that.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Yeah, thanks everyone for the support.
Awesome. And guys, if you guys want to
Yeah, I
drop,
know. Somebody said when I published my review, they removed it and I had to provide proof of receipts. Yeah, that's a
oh,
thing, man. Let me tell you something about Trustpilot, okay? Trustpilot is very predatory. Trustpilot has a big monopoly on reviewing. And what they do essentially is that they get you in a call and they're like, hey, you're going to need to pay us 2000 USD a month. And I'm telling you this from experience, by the way. Trustpilot will get you in a call. They'll be like, hey, this is our integrations. You can have easy reviews, which is perfect. It's going to cost you $2,000 a month. Oh, you can't afford that? Cool. Take off all reviews that you have on your website that are from Trustpilot. They'll literally come and do this. They'll be like, take off all reviews that exist
wow.
on your website, and we'll start taking down positive reviews. You can look at every company goes through this. Trustpilot is the most predatory review platform that exists. And I was like, bro, and so many of the times after we told them no, they removed 5-star reviews from us. And this is like an ongoing thing where I've even reached out to them. They're super aggressive, by the way. This is a company that's built off of predatory nature, which is absolutely crazy because all LLMs reference these review sites. That's why it's so important. And then even if you provide proof of a bad review that this doesn't exist, then it's probably a competitor trying to bash you, dude, they won't accept it. So
Bro, that's
isn't
BS.
that crazy, dude? Like we live in a world where that exists, that sort of
You got to pay for it. They blackmail you for it, and then they don't care if people talk shit, and it's not a real review. Nice.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. Crazy.
Good model.
I even told them to their face, I'm like, yo, you guys are predatory. Like you guys came to me asking 2,500 and then took reviews down when I said no. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah. See, I had to send receipts too, so they still removed it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways,
Bro,
back here, Chop City. This is why today's a beautiful time to understand financial markets. And let's just go to GC over here for a second.
Could we review Trustpilot on Trustpilot?
Yeah, right. We should do something like that. So we haven't had this aggressive of a sell-off since 2022, since the rate hike cycle, right? And once we had that sell-off and the sentiment shifted, the sentiment didn't shift when Fed started cutting rates. The sentiment shifted before they even stopped hiking rates, right? Or near their last series of hikes. Like this was November 2022, and markets started pricing in the rate hikes since the start of the year. We didn't get the first rate hike until like April, was it? April or May 2022, somewhere near here. And then you have these lows get printed on the intraday time frame. Sorry, on the daily time frame. And once these lows printed from over a span of about 2 months, right? From September 22 to November 22, when they printed, then you had the change in structure and you had that sustainable trend start to happen where every major move on gold got bought back up. Currently, we have just seen a small retracement. This information doesn't tell me enough that, hey, the trend on gold has changed. I would need to see higher time frame areas being held sustainably over a course of time for us to start shifting into that bullish structure, right? Then you'd see some sort of movement and then head back into 5K. But that doesn't just happen off of one candle, daily candle closing bullish after new lows being printed. That happens after we get days of price action, usually weeks, where sentiment starts shifting and markets start positioning themselves for that buys, right? Even here, like we consolidated for months until Jerome Powell came out and said, we're going to hike rates. Sorry, we're going to cut rates because, and then what happened was we had the next 3 series of rate cuts, right?
Yep.
So on gold, what that looks like is we consolidated for months, and then one singular event happened where the entire market shifted focus to the next series of rate cuts. Fed Chair Powell signals possible September rate cut boosting gold demand. Fed policy pivot towards easing increases gold's appeal. And then you could have just held on to your buys for dear life because, my brother, would you have profited a generational run on gold from 3,300 to 4,400? That singular event created sentiment that caused that singular event created a pivot that caused a pivot in both the sentiment and the policy, and we got that rally. Right now we're seeing Fed with that Fed pivot, high rates. We saw the outflow happen. We're not seeing anything that's pointing towards or currently data that's pointing towards a pivot happening. So once we start seeing that, and Jackson Hole Symposium comes into play, exactly. That Jackson Hole Symposium, I still remember, yeah. Same 2020 for downside? Yeah, exactly. Until we get that sort of event or confirmation that, hey, or data pointing towards rate cuts coming, then you're going to see that sentiment. Until then, we're not going to see, we can't expect gold to continue up to 4,500 if that sentiment doesn't exist. If sentiment is still bearish on gold, we can't expect it to just continue pushing higher without a change in sentiment. There has to be something, whether that's Trump trying to save face on midterms and saying, no, Fed's going to cut rates and pressuring Fed to cut rates, or whether we get data that points towards policy actually being easing down the line and the probabilities of that easing. Currently, that probabilities doesn't exist either. And you can even go to the interest rate tracker over here, and you can see that no change or rate change and increase 25%, 25 basis point increase in September is at 27% right now, right? Even July is sitting at 17%. Remember, all of these increases were at zero start of the year. 25 basis point increase for October, 26%, right? And then December gets higher and everything. But the point being is that market expectations change as the data comes in, as the year develops, right? Yeah. So you can't always expect that, hey, this downside is going to continue playing, because if we get an event that completely changes sentiment, just like how that one speech, that 10-minute speech on August 22nd, 2025, which majority of the people won't even be able to tell you that that's what created that sentiment change. But you come to market here, you click backtest fundamentals, you click the candle, boom, shows you exactly what's happening. By the way, in 2 weeks, we have backtest fundamentals 2.0 coming out. It is a massive launch. It is so much more useful. We built a ton of cool stuff into it. Let's say you have NFP coming out this week, next week, you'll be able to click NFP on here and it will highlight every other area where there's been NFP, and you'll be able to see the impact and how the market's moved. So we're really, really making this easier for everybody to actively trade and understand fundamentals. So that sort of sentiment change needs to occur before you see technicals start shifting, right? Right now, as we're bearish, that's why I'm confident in taking sells at like 4,100 over here and even attempting it at higher prices. So until that happens, I'm not actively going to be trying to buy every single pullback that I get. I'm still going to be on the sell side, because to me, there hasn't been a change in sentiment. Yeah, some buyers from down here are trying to front run it, but what ends up happening when the sellers here are so dominant that they just end up driving gold to new lows, because there hasn't been a new change in sentiment. Until we get that confirmation in the change of sentiment, I'll tell you firsthand, guys, markets aren't pricing in those rate hikes anymore, right? Markets aren't pricing in a tighter policy. I'll be the first to tell you that. Like we were the first to tell you start of the year that, guys, those rate cut expectations are fading out. Markets don't give a shit about those anymore. No one cares about how rate cut expectations, the wars happening. That's what the focus is on. Let's pay attention to how oil plays out, and that'll give us direction on dollar, S&P, and gold as well. And we navigated that perfectly. So just because we got to bounce off these lows doesn't tell me that, oh shit, getting premium buyers are in. From experience, I know that that change occurs over a course of weeks. Look at here, gold consolidated at lows for 3 weeks before we pushed higher. Here as well, gold was ranging for months. Gold here reacting to intraday lows for days. Same here, intraday consolidation, bouncing off of these lows over here for days before that rally happens. So there's no point in trying to front run a massive move when maybe all this is just a retracement that can take gold maybe up to here before you see continuation, and maybe we just range for a bit. Jackson Symposium come, boom. Maybe that happens. But the point being is that don't try to just get so attached to a singular thing, singular bias point, that instead of catching the sells, you're just trying to buy every single dip. You don't want to be that person. And the same thing when the markets are retracing, you need to be aware that I'm not going to be the person looking for sells on every single pullback while the market is correcting. That I know there's one price handle that must be met before that move is ready, or there must be some catalyst that happens in the market that causes that then the markets move. In this case, the catalyst was FOMC hawkish policy. Here, continuation of that, ride the sells down. But you can see the market ran its course for that corrective period until that catalyst took place, and then we aligned ourselves with the correct buy. So for all I give a shit, this could go up all the way to up here. And guess what? If sentiment is still bearish, I'm still going to look for those sells, right? I'm going to look for those sells. If we come down here, yeah, I'll attempt those buys, because I know markets are very mechanical. They're very algorithmic. That if we come down here, we're going to see that potential reaction, because these are new daily lows that are printed. So this isn't a price area to just forget about. It's if you're aligned on these sells, let's say sells come in from here. Let's just pretend it comes in. I'm going to look to take profit plus see how price reacts here. And if market starts rejecting here, now I'm going to look for some buys, because this is like the third time we're coming down to here. And this is where premium buys were previously were at. And maybe I'll risk some of my profits, right? Let's say I take 80% of my position over here. I let 10% run. Whatever this runner is floating, I can just risk it on this buy, because at minimum, I've taken 90% profit. I'll just risk the 10% that I was already running and ride that up. Worst case comes, that runner still keeps going and this position gets taken out, and you're still in more profit. You've kept it, right? So that's what I mean when you start looking for, and you want to start understanding those shifts in market sentiment and how impactful they are, how a singular shift can literally cause change sentiment for the following months and quarters to come. Then you understand that sort of event or shift in sentiment has to happen before market structure even shifts, right? Market structure and markets are always forward looking, so they work hand in hand. You'll start to understand that markets are pricing something in based off of information we just got, even though that cut hasn't happened. That cut didn't happen until September, but the market started front running that. So until we get a bit more information of the opposite end and whether the market's going to front run it, I'm still bearish higher time frame on gold, right? I'm not going to like, until we get confirmation, like let's say 4,100 breaks, then you get that squeeze and maybe we head up into 4,200 right here. Perfect. Then I'll buy this pullback and I'll look to take sells into here, right? You see what I mean? Now we're getting a better picture of the things that have to happen before gold can start heading back up to deeper 4,500, 4,800, 5,000, right? And I'll be the first one to be like, guys, I'm buying gold now. Like, this is it. Sellers are done. I'm done out of my sell side bias. I've milked it enough, and boom, like we're gonna now ride these buys towards the upside.
Awesome. Yo, great breakdown, man. 9:25 markets open in a few minutes here. ES finding some support off demand. Same with NASDAQ. Would not look to short these lows, that is for sure. I'll get some headlines coming out there. Anything new? Anything major?
I made a good point. Next week is end of quarter. This upside is just rebalancing. Absolutely. Nice. This is just, institutions have to rebalance their month-end flows, quarter-end flows. Next week is end of quarter. So this is classic, just quarter-end balancing of flows. And you see that happen a lot of times is that when you're approaching these end of quarters, so June, and then in this case, March, end of March, we made this low. And then you see the rebalancing of flows happen going into the new quarter, right? And then guess what? This new quarter starts April, May, June. June ends off in a new low. And now you have the same rebalancing happen, right? Like it's very apparent. Start of the year, you get that big sell-off. Rebalancing happens start of the next quarter, Q2, end of March right here. This is mid-April, rebalancing happens. And then you get that continuation towards the downside. So this is normal. When you see pullbacks happen end of month, end of quarter, it's just institutions rebalancing their positioning and flows, whether they need to hedge more on one side or take off some exposure off of their positioning on gold. It's things of that nature. And that's why you see markets move abruptly near end of month or end of quarter. Vlad, in your opinion, how should a trader measure progress and set milestones for long-term growth? What's the best framework in your opinion?
That's a great question.
That is actually great. In your opinion, how should we measure progress? I think, so I think what most people end up measuring progress as is monetary, because it is one of the easiest ways to quantify progress. But what you should really, really measure your progress on is, and this is where that entire concept of taking notes, and even recording a webinar for yourself so you can go over every weekend on where you took trades, where you messed up, right? And actually putting that into your head. The more things start clicking and the more you start understanding why certain movements are happening, I would quantify progress based on that. Is if I come to the charts and I start understanding the reason for every major leg that has happened over here, every single major leg, I understand what has happened, or every major move towards upside, then I know that I'm improving as a trader, not just monetary wise, but knowledge and application wise. And that's what's important, is that I take this information that's abundantly clear to me, that exists in abundance, and then I know how to translate it onto the charts. I wouldn't quantify it as from the point of money from the start, because that's like, it's just a dark hole you don't want to go through, is just keep focusing on the money. So I would quantify progress as when I come to the charts as a new trader, every major move I see, if I can start understanding and piecing together what caused it, I'm progressing.
Yeah. Great. Yep. And you guys should also know where you're at in your journey, right? What's your biggest struggle right now? Ask yourself, what is your biggest struggle? Are you losing accounts too quick? Are your losses bigger than your wins? Do you feel like you go on more losing streaks than winning streaks? Do you feel like maybe you're jumping in trades too early, right? That's where also a little bit of journaling comes in play. Even if you just screenshot your chart after your trades and review it later that day, you're reviewing it, your subconscious is going to grow and say, okay, next time I see that, I'm not going to be so quick to jump in that trade.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. When I marry my bias and fail to zoom out, there you go. It's all about knowing you. We give you guys the best advice and best input in the world, but it's about how you take it and how you execute going forward. And again, knowing you. We don't know you like you know you.
Yeah. You know you the best, you know?
Yep. Great range call on gold, by the way. Don't
Yeah, man. It's just like this. I came into it, saw it this morning when I woke up at like 6 a.m. I'm like, this is just going to be a shit session. Like I had the same idea that Seb had in mind too. Like this is the end of the quarter coming up. We have just sold, like, guys, this is April, start of the quarter, and we have sold off continuously. End of the quarter. For all I care, gold could continue in the next coming quarter, go up all the way till here. And if sentiment doesn't change, guess what? This is going to hold and you're going to get pricing in of that again. But if sentiment shifts, then you get taps of this lows again and you start to see structure holding. But so end of quarter, I want to take it easy. I don't want to come to the markets on a Friday, take a shit ton of losses, and then be like, oh, fuck, man. I made 5K this week, but today I gave up $4,000. Why would I do that? I want to take that money. I want to enjoy it, pay some bills, take my family out for dinner, you know?
Yep. That's it.
Make a difference. And even look at this. This is just shit price action. You know what I mean? Absolute dog shit price action. This is where you look at gold.
Like these longs.
You close this chart. You press this X up here, and you press the X on your browser as well, and you just walk away for the day on gold. But we just had New York Stock Exchange open.
Yep.
So, Kevin, you want to share your screen?
Yeah, let's run it. I like the ES longs in this zone. Again, this is an area of support. A lot of traders going into today with the mindset of, oh, we're going to sell off right away like we did yesterday. I'd like to see a little bit of a pullback even towards these 74.04 highs. If we do fail it, though, right, then what can we look for? Well, we could look for a stronger break and continuation. We look for the breakdown continuation. But at the moment, I am in some light longs. I want to see us pull back even towards VWAP would be great. Nice little move there right off entry, which is always nice to see.
Yeah.
Very good there. NASDAQ also holding. You guys know I'm a big fan of equities too. Equities, SpaceX back below 150. That's what I really love to see. But Microsoft continuing, Apple continuing. NVIDIA took a big drop, gap and go to the downside at the moment on the 5-minute. Google as well. But look at our equities holding up from there, man. Real clean entry so far. Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. Keep that running. NASDAQ holding some strength here too. Love to see it. I'm going to scale out of a couple here just because I do still consider this to be a counter trend trade. So just want to be a little careful with any long positions in this market. But nice little move right there from what's that, 72 to 85. Just stay patient at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
VIX coming to a key level. I'd like to see VIX reverse to the upside from this key level. So again, that would be a more bearish confluence. So just stay patient. Markets just opened. Some traders trade the opening range breakout. They have to wait 15 minutes before getting an idea of direction or what trend and what trade they should take. So don't be so quick to jump in the first 3 minutes. Doesn't always occur. I saw a little bit of a trade setup happen, and that's why I took it. And if it stops out, it stops out. That's something too, guys, that you have to know about yourself. When you take a trade, are you prepared to take a loss, or are you oversized and one loss is going to ruin your day?
Absolutely, man. It's and a lot of the time it's the oversizing that people get fucked up on. And also there's some good questions in chat that we should go through. For somebody asked, actually, could you go to by Scott Riley? What's your top-down analysis breakdown like when you come to the charts or over the weekend? Fundamentals, journaling, review, past, present trade. You know what? This is a really good question, and I'll actually record a video on this.
Nice.
I'm gone for the weekend, but I will, when I come back Monday, I will release a video on Monday for this entire process, and we'll do it from a fresh perspective of the new week and what I can do, or maybe I'll record it while I'm gone. Somebody said my previous issue was I'm not executing trades when when the area of interest has reached, working on it, played well past my evaluation. Now I'm jumping to trades too early, working on it. Suggestions would be appreciated. I think the reason you have to ask yourself is, why are you jumping onto trades too early? Is it because you have FOMO? And that's likely what it is because otherwise you should be waiting for your confirmations, right? If you have FOMO, then why do you have FOMO? Is it because you really want to make money in the markets? And if that's the case, then you're just pushing that further away, right? I would suggest that always it's better to wait for confirms and have that conviction than try to front run a move. You're not always going to be right. And majority of times, when I see, like, even in this case, gold tapped this area once and pushed up. Very rarely will that happen, right? Like a lot of times you'll get like price consolidating for at least like 30 minutes before we push up towards upside. So when something like that happens, just leave it. I don't want to, in this case, I didn't rush into these buys because what I wanted was the confirms around 70s. And since I didn't take that, then it's just like, okay, cool, let it be. So I would really, really want to wait for those confirms, because I know that not only does that increase this probability of the success because I have those confirms, but it also keeps my mind at ease. I'm not going to be anxious because I'm early into a trade and I don't know how it's going to play out. And then it doesn't play out in my favor because I didn't wait for the confirms I had.
Yep. Great. Guys, great questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Amazing. That's what this, you know what? Choppy days like this are the best to answer questions. What else we got? Over trading, trying to handle that at the moment. Target hit for the day, trade again. Yeah, no, target hit for the day. That's, I like to tell people that if you're that type of trader that's like, okay, you hit your daily target, but then you find yourself still over trading, take advantage of prop firms. Prop firms give you the opportunity to have multiple accounts. If you have multiple accounts, you hit take profit or your daily goal on one, just flip over to the next. If you really have that urge to trade, flip over to the next, protect your capital on that main account, and you're good to go. Buyers struggling here on ES, but so are sellers. Be careful. Very range bound. Nalab, while you're at it, you should also start a mindset/psych page or sessions on here. Oh, that'd be cool.
I'm sorry, I'm just replying to a bunch of stuff. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
He said Nalab, while you're at it, you should also start a mindset/psych page or for sessions on here.
Man, I wish I had the time. That would be awesome. No, that's why I just come on here. Hopefully you guys get value of it.
Yep. 100%, bro. The value we bring in these episodes, next level.
Yeah.
Next level. Great.
Kevin, I actually have to head out now. Yeah, I'm going to read you guys a book next week for sure.
Yeah.
I actually have to head out now. I'm getting called into a meeting.
So, all right, bro.
Thanks everybody for a solid week. Great work, remaining adaptive, taking advantage of gold sells all the way until the actual buy move started happening. So
that's great.
Keep that in mind. If you have any feedback about market, how we can make it better, what you'd like to see, please feel free to send it to us. You can send in the comments. You can click this icon over here, and this will open up a support chat. You can talk to the team. I'm right here as well. I'll reply. I see every single feedback that comes in. So nothing goes unnoticed. My team brings up everything to me, and we try every single day to make the platform better. Like we had someone just send feedback, and they actually sent a video with it where they're saying somebody was struggling to scroll down past the chart on their screen size. So now that's something we have to fix, right? So this feedback doesn't go unnoticed. So please feel free to send anything. If you think there's something you want to see that can make market a better platform, my goal is to just make it the best fundamental platform in this space. And any feedback that's positive, constructive, negative, I'm here to hear it. So thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it. I'll see you guys soon.
Let's go, Nil. Good stuff, bro. Appreciate you for being on today's episode.
Course, thanks, Kevin. Take care, man.
Take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be watching some equities. I'd say we could keep an eye on gold, but holy range, right? We're getting that barcode price action. We are going nowhere anytime soon on gold. We're leaving this alone. Dollar also found itself in that consolidation point, trying to hold that 101 that Nalab mentioned. That is right over here. I'll show you guys. Right here. Mark that out. So we see that in the past it was a resistance. Now that we're above it, we're trying to act as support. So if the dollar moves higher, we know that we should be expecting a down move on gold. So again, we're choppy here. This is a range. This whole area is a no trade zone. So what do we want to do? We want to add an alert. We want to be aware of when we break out of that zone, whether it's to the upside or downside. As traders, we do not care. As long as it gives us direction and follow through, that's what we look for, and good continuation. It's raging on gold. Oh, ranging. Yeah, it is ranging. It's raging too. ES and NQ, a lot of selling pressure building up on equities. I'm not a fan of trying longs anymore. As much as I do want to see us pull back, we are in that demand area. Just know the overall context is much stronger to the downside. Microsoft had a huge spike up higher. NVIDIA did try to turn around. I'll show you guys the equities that we're looking at right here. SpaceX turned around as well, hit that 149 and is back at 152. NVIDIA trying to hold higher. Google at a key level 338 right now. Meta, a lot of equities trying to hold up at the moment. Meanwhile, a lot of them were just looking weak. So same thing that we're seeing on gold, we're seeing on equities, that we're very 50-50 in these markets. We want to be extra patient when that's the case. Let things play out, like I said. And when we're ranging, we see we're choppy on a 5-minute chart, guys. That's the best time to look at a different time frame. 15-minute, what's the 15-minute time frame doing? 30-minute, what's the 30-minute? The hourly, are these giving us any more of a clear direction or any other strong key levels that we're keeping an eye on? ES and NQ, look at this. Again, I would not be looking for longs anymore. There's more sellers than buyers at this point. VIX at this key level to try to move lower, though. So VIX is trying to move lower. We know that is a confirmation to go long. So really matter of staying patient. NASDAQ also hit this demand. ES is in demand. There's a lot of support below us, but there's also a lot of resistance above us. So wait for things to play out, see which side wants to win, and then take that side. But right now, we want to be patient and not force anything. Guys, let me know what you're trading. Are you trading gold? Are you trading silver today? We can take a look at silver too. Bitcoin, man, below 60,000 is insane. Silver, nope, this is crude. Let's take a look at crude. Now, crude, we could always start with the daily time frame. Still continuing this downtrend, but still finding a little bit of support near the $70 to 69 area. So I'd be patient. I wouldn't really look for a trade on oil either. It does seem like market conditions are finding a bit of a consolidation phase. And when that's the case, usually markets are waiting for the next big headline or economic event that comes out, whether it is, like Nalab mentioned, NFP next week, CPI. Now, CPI isn't the week following. It's actually 2 weeks after. So next month, the economic data is a little scattered. It's going to give us some great volatility. So very excited and looking forward to that on the S&P, the NASDAQ, and gold. Any news on SpaceX? I don't think any news on SpaceX. It's still just sort of trading within its range, whether it's between, let's see, I'll show you guys right now what's going on with SpaceX. Daily time frame. All those suckers at these highs, 200. Now they keep trying to average down. They keep trying to buy more down here, right? So them trying to buy back, that might be supporting price to pull back higher. Remember, I said I wanted to see if SpaceX could make its way towards $20 and then, I'm sorry, 2,200 and then reverse again, because that would still be our lower high off of that high and would give us, again, that down move. Everybody who bought up here, they averaged down here. Price moved up to 200. They're basically break even on their trade. They think, oh, I'm so glad I held. I'm so glad I doubled down. And then, boom, another big slap in their face. Markets move lower off that. Again, a psychological standpoint, a bit of an idea of how markets like to play with the emotions of traders. Here we go, man. Equities trying to hold for the most part right now. Aren't we glad we didn't take any random shorts on the ES or NASDAQ? We knew we found support below us, but we know that there's resistance above us. Really just a matter of being patient for a break or breakdown. VIX at that key level. So VIX I would want to see move higher from here. So ES not really at any areas of resistance. We do have VWAP right here. NASDAQ has VWAP over there as well. Just be patient. Yeah, great. Yep, great experience. These markets, man, great experience, great exposure. Every day you come to the markets, you're going to be getting better because you're gaining that extra experience and you're gaining that screen time. The more screen time you have, the better. You could have the best strategy in the world, but with no screen time, you're not going to know how to execute properly, whether that is getting into a trade, getting out of a trade, sizing into a trade. You're going to blow it and you're going to be like, oh, well, this strategy sucks. Nah, bro, it's not the strategy. It's your positioning. It's how you go about the markets. Every strategy works just like no strategy works. I always say this. And what I mean by that is that you could have a 90% win rate, but if your losses are 4 times the size of your winners, doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Look how quick sellers were able to, this candle open, we dropped 7 points on the ES, 9 points on the ES that quick. Again, into the support zone. Wouldn't be looking for that. Yeah, no. So I'm a big fan of ES and NQ. Those are my two bread and butters right there. You know, using the VIX with it, using the weighted index, which would also be our equities. Really gives me the insight and clarity I need to follow the right direction on markets. Getting a lot of selling pressure we're seeing. So it's, again, I'm so hesitant to just be like, okay, we're pulling back. Let me grab a long. Like, we could make that argument. Oh, we should grab this long right here because this 5-minute time frame, we don't have an upper wick and these candles need upper wicks. And it's like, yeah, okay, but like, is that a real strategy? How is your sizing going to be on that? So many questions to follow through. And it's like, is it something that's actually repeatable? Or is it something that's a little BS that you shouldn't be taking? So be patient on this. Just wait. And yeah, let markets play out. It's Friday. We had a great week this week. There's no reason to just be jumping the gun or be getting into random trades. And if that's the case, you guys know where to sit. Sit on your hands. Again, I'd love to see, remember our pre-market plan. I wanted to see us move back to 74.28 up here. So sure, if you find a good long position, great. Hopefully we can find that pullback. I'm staying extra patient. I know markets are very choppy right now. And I, again, want to be patient. I don't want to be the trader. Just like on gold we saw before, that tries shorts down here, gets stopped out, tries longs up here, gets stopped out. We don't want that same price action to be occurring on ES and NQ, and that's exactly what looks like is trying to form. So be patient. We're in support. I'm more leaning towards the buy side for a short-term move, not a long-term move, short-term move. Be patient. Let things play out. If you don't see a trade, you don't take a trade. It's that simple. Look at that. Buyers coming in again here. Yo, what's up, Ozzy? Ryder, what's going on, guys? Good morning. Yo, love the energy. Bro, thank you, man. Thank you. It's all about bringing positive energy, positive vibes, and good information. It's what these streams are all about. And let's take a look at our market terminal. See if we got anything going on here. Market terminal still showing us more bearish too. So again, we have 74.11 as resistance. 74.11 is right over here. This was this consolidation point from overnight. And then I can almost guarantee that 74.30 is going to be another one. So no, 74.85. Big pullback on that. 74.85 is way up here. Not an area I would be too interested. So again, we're staying patient. I'm not taking any longs down here as much as I want to. I'm just not counter trend trading this. I wanted to see a pullback to the supply zone. So I'm going to wait to see that area. And again, that sort of comes back to the whole conversation we had yesterday about whatever you're trading, whatever your strategy is, your system that you follow every day. That's your edge. Building that system and having follow through is your edge. And if you don't have an edge in the market has an edge on you. That's ayo. But no joke, guys. That's what it's all about, man. It's, again, supply and demand. I went over this yesterday. Supply and demand is my foundation. Then you need risk management. Then you need proper execution, strategy for entry, take profit levels. Again, circling back to risk management. What's your risk per trade? What's your take profit per trade? What's your R to R on your trades? Right now, ES is really struggling to get above and stay above VWAP. Same with NASDAQ, has not surpassed it. So we're still trading more towards the downside. Weighted index down here. So the weighted index I'm referring to is this bottom chart, and it's Apple, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Meta. Now, I call it the weighted index. This one isn't so much a weighted index because it's not specific on the amount of contracts or amount of shares, but how I used to have it, and this was on my old trading view, I got to find it and set it back up again. Ozzy, man, if you have that, send me over a screenshot. It was like Apple 7.8 shares, Google 5.6 shares, Microsoft 8.8 shares, and it was specific. It was weighted towards how much those equities weighted on the S&P and NASDAQ. And that gave me some insight, because if you don't have 4 extra screens, you might not be able to have that screen room for your equities chart right above you. And if that's the case, we have to adjust, right? When we adjust, that's when we find those better plans. And we find things like, okay, let me roll up all those charts into one chart on the same screen that I'm watching. Now, we could also put VWAP on here too. Trying to hold VWAP, trying to squeeze higher on the weighted index. Meanwhile, NASDAQ's doing the opposite. So we're getting that inverse correlation. We're not getting any follow through. And same thing that we're seeing on the VIX. VIX, look at how well VIX just reacted to $20 even. Key level, I have this blue zone here is a key area. We reacted right away to the upside. If VIX moves higher, ES and NQ usually move lower. So keep that in mind. I do not want to be long right now, but I also don't want to be short right now. It's just as important when we get a gold notification. There we go, gold breaking out. Just as important to know when to trade, just like it's important to know when not to trade. Always go over that for you guys. Very important. So like gold's breaking out of the 5-minute, but look at the time frame. Something else I want you guys to keep an eye on when it comes to the when it comes to gold, when it comes to breakout trades, anything. and not even just gold. When you trade anything, if you're looking at a 5-minute chart, TradingView offers this countdown right here. It's a countdown till the candle closes. Right now, this candle has 3.5 minutes to close. So we're pumping right now. That's great. And remember, we had, I think it was 40.92 as an upside target. I'm not in any gold trades. And guess what? 3 minutes left for this candle to close, and it already looks like a full body candle. That's plenty of time for it to wick back lower or even, continue higher. But guess what? If we continue higher from here and you think you want to take a trade, where the hell are you putting your stop loss? You putting your stop loss way down over here and put your take profit there. That's not even a 1-to-1, let alone a 2-to-1 that we look for. Yeah, Ozzy, if you have that one, but with the actual like weightedness to it, then I would definitely appreciate that. Send it to me on Discord. Guys, that reminds me, join our Discord community, our Market AI Discord community. I'm going to send that in the comments right now. So join it. Throw some screenshots in there. Look at this. See that? Gold's pulling back. That's why we want to keep an eye on how much time is left and why we don't want to just jump in near highs. ES and NQ really struggling. I'd almost want to try shorts on ES off of VWAP here, but this is what I consider a rock and a hard place, right? We're stuck between a rock and a hard place. We're stuck between support and resistance. Resistance right above us, support right below us. We're ping-ponging, rock and a hard place. We're in a jam, whatever you want to call it. We're in a no trade zone. And when that's the case, we know that if it looks like sellers are taking control, buyers will probably reject. If it looks like buyers are taking control, sellers will probably reject until further notice. Look at this, man. This is why we don't take those random breakouts on gold when we have 3 whole minutes left. Look at that. It took a minute for it to wick right back down. S&P and NASDAQ, and same thing. Remember we were going over before, when markets are in a range like this, look at the higher time frame. What's the 15-minute doing? What's the 30-minute doing? Are they giving us any stronger insight or clarity that isn't being seen on the 5-minute and lower hourly time frame? Look at the hourly. Right here on the hourly closes in 6 minutes. On ES and NQ right here, that hourly shows me a longer, lower wick. That tells me that these sellers at the bottom of this wick are now trapped in the market. So if price reverses off of those sellers, guess what's going to happen? We're going to get that impulse move to the upside. But with 6 minutes left, just like we were looking at gold that had 3 minutes left, 6 minutes, as crazy as it sounds, is plenty of time for NASDAQ to sell 100 points. We know that at that point. We've been getting crazy volatility and crazy momentum in these markets. Let's see. Still overall, I want to look for shorts, but it doesn't mean I'm going to short these lows. We wanted to pull back 29,700 on NQ, 74.28 on ES. And what else we got? Gold, we were waiting to see 40.90 as a upside target. We're just going to wait. Yo, Andrea, appreciate you, G. That's what I'm talking about, man. Teamwork right there. This is the weighted index version. Now, when you type this in, you're going to do it without the bats. So it would be 8.50 star Microsoft plus 8.18 star Apple plus so on and so on. So if you guys want to take a quick screen grab of that. But yo, shout out Andrea, shout out Ozzy. They are OGs from my community that I was trading with. If you guys want to take some sessions, I do some mentoring as well, some one-on-ones and stuff. I feel like it's important, it's important to have guidance. It's important to have follow through, and it's important to know what you're doing and have that extra bit of accountability, whether you have a mentor or you have a trading buddy, whatever the case may be, have that extra sense of accountability will give you a stronger subconscious when you trade, period. Because guess what? Your subconscious is going to know, if I take this trade right now and I don't have any confirmations, I have to report this to so-and-so. If I have to report this trade, and again, this is all subconscious. This is not something that's actually on the front of your mind. I'm going to feel like an idiot. I'm going to feel dumb if I do that. I want to be confident in what I'm doing because I want to be able to confidently say, hey, look at this trade I took. I waited for A, B, and C to happen. I did this. I did that. I did it all right. Look at that. Almost like, as funny as it sounds, like an are you proud of me situation, right? You want to be proud of yourself in trading, but psychologically, our minds go to wherever we're comfortable. And when you start trading, for the most part, most traders start unprofitable, and that becomes their new subconscious comfortable. Don't be that way. Have follow through, have a strong mindset. There we go, buyers. Come on, buyers. Let's take it higher. Let's really run it up here. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm not in any positions right now. VIX breaking through that low. Love to see it. VIX making new low of day. Helps confirm ES back to the upside here. Look at this. Gold also trying to hold. Dollar struggling. NASDAQ trying to get to VWAP. ES above VWAP. Weighted index holding above. Very nice, guys. Very nice. 74.28. Great upside target there. Guys, if you are here on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button. I didn't say it yet, but smash the like button. We usually try to aim for 50 likes. I don't know what we're at now, so you guys better go like it, because I don't know if you guys did. I'll double check. I'm going to check right now. 50 likes. I don't know what we're at now. So probably at like 20-something maybe. I didn't say anything. Yeah, we're at 30, guys. You got to run that up. Let's go into the weekend strong. There we go, ES. Keep that runner. Keep that running. Let's go. Nice buying right here. See a lack of volume above us as well, so it tells me that there's not much resistance anymore. Key levels against the upside, 74.28 is what I'm looking for. NASDAQ running. And guys, again, this is great. We had, bang, look at that, take profit level on gold. ES and NQ, right? We have 2 minutes left on this 5 minute. This 5 minute already gave us a 20-point move on ES. It already gave us 120-point move on the NASDAQ. Would it make more sense that it gives us another 100 points from here? Or would it make more sense that we chop around over here and possibly pull back, right? And it would make more sense that we would chop around and then possibly pull back. W on gold. Yeah, man. W's on gold for sure. I did not take any trades in this chop. I wasn't finding anything high probability or high confidence, so I'm not taking any trades on it, period, man. You got to be able to manage yourself, manage your psychology, and manage your trades properly. Some bars right there, man. If ES can continue here, and if this 5 minute closes up higher, I would look for a pullback to take some longs. We just want to be extra patient and extra careful. I did, as you guys saw, we took a couple stabs on the longs over here for some scalps, and then it just sort of chopped around. So just be patient. Moderna is up 8%. Just got a notification on that. Some equities moving. NASDAQ, gold, finding some resistance off 40.92. Yeah, no trade for you. Good job. Listen, you got to be able to also reward yourself. Again, here comes the whole subconscious situation when it comes to trading. When you're teaching a dog or a pet or anything new tricks, you reward it when it does it. If you go an entire day without taking any trades, even though you looked at the chart and you did your pre-market plan, reward yourself. Reward yourself on winning days and reward yourself on days you followed your plan. Even losing days, if you managed to keep your losses to a minimum and you had follow through. Because again, that subconscious will start to build over a week or two of doing that, where some days you reward yourself, some days you don't because you don't follow your plan. Your subconscious is going to go, oh, I don't want to take this trade because afterwards I can't go get, let's say you reward yourself with your favorite meal. That's what I used to do. I'd always get like Chipotle or something. Can't go get Chipotle because I just effed up my trades. I just didn't follow my plan. I blew my account. Piyush, yes, sir. Calling it a week. My weekend starts now. I can tilt on the weekend and have a cheat meal. There you go, bro. Reward yourself. There we go. Buyers continuing higher. Very nice there. Very nice. I'm not taking any trades on this. A lot of momentum. I'd much rather see this shoot straight up and then shoot straight down. Sort of like what we saw. Look at the price action we had from Micron earnings straight up. And then New York session open yesterday straight down. So I want to see us move. We had consolidation. Move straight up. Find some resistance. Move on down. ES continuing higher too. A bit of a low volume shelf. Right in between, where we at? Around 96 to 90. 96 to 90. It's going to be right here to 90. And that also lines up with a fair value gap. So we'll see, how does this 5-minute want to close up here? Does it close above? Does it give us some strength and follow through? Or does it wick on down and we don't get a trade entry? NASDAQ with some good strength. Let's also take a look at our equities now. Let's take a look at our equities, right? Always good to keep an eye on them. NVIDIA chopping its way higher. Google rejecting. Google's trying to reject right now. Meta is choppy. Microsoft is rejecting. Apple is struggling. Only one that's trying to hold right now is SpaceX, and it's at the top of its current range. So be patient on that. I do think we're going to get a little bit of some pushback here on equities. So just be patient and wait. Really waiting for that 5-minute right now. I'd love to see 5-minute close up here. Give us a pullback on the next 5, get an entry, and then take it towards that supply area. That would be ideally the trade setup I'm looking for on ES. Let's see. We did not take out pre-market lows. We actually came into this little area right here, and we held. So same deal. We have 3 minutes left. We're not buying up here. Imagine buying high. What do we buy high and sell low? No way. No way. Dollar trying to move lower, which is supporting gold, but we see gold is rejecting. Look at that, 40.75 and 40.92 on XAU USD. It was a great take profit level for anybody that was still in any gold longs. ES pulling back a bit here. Now, what I would like to see is us sort of chop around in this area so that this low volume shelf has that much more strength to it, so that it shows heavy volume, low volume, heavy volume. So that imbalance, that low volume is considered an imbalance, right? Markets want to see volume pick up wherever markets are moving. So when we have those fall offs, those are imbalances. ES trying to hold. Let's see. Be patient here. Let's see. NASDAQ. And again, this is a great example too of how we were in that demand zone and buyers and sellers were having a disagreement, right? They couldn't push us lower. They couldn't push us higher. They couldn't push us lower until one side finally won. And the side that won was the side that had the zone, that had the support underneath us, which was the demand. What was that? Oh, yeah, this was a demand from back here. Right. Yeah, so again, I'm not looking for us to completely reverse and break 74.56 from here. Looking for us to hit around 74.30 and then look for a short position on ES, 74.30. Looks like buyers are trying to step in and hold right now. Don't forget, 30-minute time frame just closed too. 30-minute. A lot of lower wicks, but nothing suggesting that buyers are truly reversing price. Hourly time frame, just pow. Remember that, guys? We were looking at this hourly when it was way down over here. I said it's plenty of time for it to move higher. It's exactly what it did. 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour. 4 hour also. I want to see us move up here. Find resistance. Move back lower. That's it. 5 minutes about to close up here, which is great. If we do have good momentum, and what we can do is we could use our volume profile and take a look at 6 p.m. Eastern the previous day, because that shows us our future session. And look at this. So this is what we call a balanced range. And we saw that whenever we were trading within this very high volume shelf, that's when we had that consolidation. We moved away from it. We're picking up volume here, exactly like I mentioned before. Left a little bit of a low volume shelf right there. That lines up right with that area that I mentioned before. If it does not pull back, does not give me an entry, I'm waiting for the shorts up here and I'm not chasing longs. Period, man. We should not be chasing trades. Definitely some good buyers up here. Let's be patient and see. Dollar trying to move higher. Gold also tried to move higher, so a bit of a divergence in the divergence, right? Because now they have confluence. They're moving together when they shouldn't be. Mamako says 10 a.m. orange folder news and Trump talks 1:30. Yeah, so the 10 a.m. wasn't. Oh, yeah, didn't we have Michigan's final? We had Michigan final today at 10. Yeah, down lower. So again, sentiment, consumer sentiment, spending. Not spending, but consumer sentiment. Not confident in these markets. Forecast was 50. It was below 50. Could hit the brain icon. Could see how it impacts ES, bullish on ES, so that just helps support these buys. I do think these buyers just want to sort of take it from here. Nvidia struggling, equity's trying to hold. Just be patient. Don't remember, guys, we're not buying high. We're being patient for this zone up here. We want to find a better short opportunity since we're not able to take those longs at those lows. Good buyers. Again, I think we're going to have continuation. I don't think we're going to have the pullback that we wanted. So, take that with, what you want. The key there is the inflation expectation. Exactly, bro. We'll see, man. I'm surprised CPI is 3 weeks into next month. So we'll see how that comes out. Non-farm payroll. I'm very excited for the webinar that the guys are going to be hosting. I'm going to see if I still have that link up. Yeah, there we go, guys. I'm going to send that link one more time in the comments for you guys. That is the NFP webinar next week during non-farm payroll and unemployment. Great graphics, great video. Just great guys hosting it. Imre, I think it's going to be Imre and G, right? It's going to be great. The GOATs. Bah. OpenAI hasn't started testing the waters meetings with investors on IPO timeline. Oh, I get it. It's a play on words. Testing the waters because they're consuming so much water. Invite Seb in the show. Bro, yo, Seb, you want to jump in real quick? Seb, you let me know, man, if you want to jump in. I'll send you the link right now. Nas pulling, gold pulling back. Dollars struggling. Weak dollars usually leads to a stronger gold. So just be patient there. ES not really continuing higher. It's struggling. It's chopping around. Like I mentioned, we have buying volume up here. So I'd want to see a little bit of continuation, but I really want to see a rejection off 74.28. 30-minute time frame. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, definitely we'll see. Look at this, another little zone right here. So again, move into this. 74.28 is my main area that I'm watching for price to reject. Those buyers did not give us a pullback. We just straight up from this demand zone. Good call on the support we had. If you guys took any longs, definitely let me know. Let's see. Boom, another high, another high. Go, go, go. Go, go, gadget highs. VIX moving lower. Again, this helps confirm that momentum to the upside that we're seeing right now. I do want to know if VIX is at any key levels. So VIX is coming near this area right here. Check this out. This is an area that VIX moved higher from. Higher. So VIX can move to this 1883 and move higher. And ES is at its resistance zone to try to move lower. That's a confluence right there. Let's run one next week, 100%. Let me know which day. Awesome, bro. Got to set up the webcam. I got you, man, 100%. Let's shoot for, yeah, you let me know what day works for you. Monday's good. Tuesday, if you want, we could always kick Nalab out. I'm just kidding. But we'll see. Monday's a good one. Thursday after Jeeve, if you want to join. Friday's always solid. And FP is what, Wednesday, right? No, Thursday. Let's see. Economic calendar. Let's see. Thursday, Wednesday. All right, so unemployment, non-farm payroll next Thursday. So yeah, bro, let me know. Monday works, Tuesday works, Wednesday works. Probably Wednesday would be best. So probably we'll shoot for Wednesday. Thursday, Friday will be dead market. Yeah. Let's see, Wednesday. Well, not Thursday. Not Thursday, Friday. Thursday is going to be non-farm payroll and unemployment. Let's see. But Friday, yeah, Friday has absolutely nothing on the impact. Yes, a little bit of resistance at the moment, right, in that zone, but not jumping in short. Imagine going short right now after seeing that strong move. I meant Thursday's NFP, but Friday. Oh, yeah, probably. It'll also depend, too, on how the data comes out, right? If the data comes out, huge surprise, really adds inflation, not inflation, but adds the odds of a rate hike, then we could see that continuation into the next day. So we'll see. I remember last non-farm payroll, we were way above expectations, and we had a massive down move that day. Like, it just trended and trended. 15-minute time frame's got 4 minutes left. So if I don't go short up here, which I'm not looking for a short right now, if the 15 does close somewhere below this white level, which means this current 5-minute would have to dump to here, then I will look for a short position on a pullback, and I will look to short that range and say, okay, let's look to go back to the downside now. Without that, if this 15-minute closes up here, this 5-minute closes somewhere up here as well, then I am still just going to wait for that original price level we had at 74.28, right off of opening price level 74.30. So good stuff there. Wait and see at the moment. VIX was moving lower. Weighted index still moving higher. Let's take a look at our equities. Apple moving up. Microsoft ended up moving up. NVIDIA struggling. Look at all the struggles NVIDIA has pushed through. It wicked over here like it was going to reverse. It moved higher. Same thing right here. Moved higher. Now it's starting to reject. But we have 3 minutes left. You guys know what that means. Plenty of time for it to wick back up and push green again. Be patient on this. Meta's flying. Google's trying to hold. Like, there's no reason to be like, okay, yeah, I want a short right now. No, wait for confirmation. If our small trend, our internal trend was just bullish, we want to wait for the confirmation to actually go short versus just jumping in randomly. And that confirmation is going to be off of one of the levels from our predetermined zones. Right now, that's over here at 74.30, 74.28. Gold continuing higher. Beautiful move there, man. Real nice move on gold. ES and NQ also trying to move up. Let's see. A lot of resistance up here, man. A lot of buyers up here too, though. It's like I wouldn't be against a long for a scalp. If you take the long here, stop at the bottom of this wick with the buyers that we have up here to move up. Would have netted a few points already right there, but I'm good, man. I'm not jumping the gun in this. We have 1:50 left. Obviously, the 15 is not trying to close below that level I had marked out, but that doesn't mean this zone's not going to work. Be patient. Let it play out. NASDAQ also has that resistance point a little bit higher. That's another 80 points right there I want to see NQ move. So another 80 points on NASDAQ. Yeah, we might see ES break above 74.38, break above 74.34, I should say. But that would still keep this zone valid for shorts. So I'm just being patient. Ideally, what I'm really looking for is the 15-minute time frame, because the 15-minute time frame is what was showing us the buying pressure to start to push back lower. So at the moment, what are we seeing? A 15-minute close up here. I'd like to see the next 15-minute open somewhere over here, move up, and then move up to like here, and then start to reject, small body close like this, longer upper wick, and then reject back lower. So we'll keep that. We'll put that right here like that for now. And listen, for that to happen, for that to be the case, we would need the 15 to close right here. It's got 40 seconds left. The next 5-minute to continue higher. The 5-minute after that to push higher as well and possibly start to reject. And then the following 5-minute to actually give us the rejection. So be patient. Don't jump in randomly. Just let markets come to you. Just took profit on gold. Today was tough, but stay true to my analysis. Y'all have a good weekend. Yo, RTG, good job, bro. Great job, man. Good work. Let's see. 10 seconds left. 8 seconds left in this 5-minute. 8 seconds left in the 15. And remember, too, if I'm looking for that 15 to give us that reversal candle, that would also show the 30-minute trying to reject, too. So really just a matter of staying patient, in my opinion, not forcing any trades at this level. 15-minute did close up there like I was looking for. We could possibly even look for a pullback for a long. I don't know if I'm a big fan of that. Like 74, what is that? 74.07 to 02. It's like right down over here. And then also, people talk about strategies and everything. Like, yo, fair value gaps. Imagine marking out fair value gaps in this market. You'd be like, oh, okay, my entry is going to be here, and it's going to be here, and it's going to be here. And then you take one trade, you get stopped out. You take the next trade, you get stopped out. And you take the next trade, you get stopped out. And you're going, well, why the hell did I just take every fair value gap on my chart? That is not something we want to be doing. We also don't want to be shorting on the first sign of weakness, which is what we're seeing right now, the first sign of weakness. We don't want to short it because we don't know if we're going to just continue higher. So wait. Remember, I was looking for us to continue higher here before we're able to push back lower again. And the main reason for that is because NASDAQ is also near that resistance point, but did not hit it yet. Gold continuing up. Great move there on gold. ES struggling, but trying to hold higher. Again, if anything, I'd be cool with taking long scalps here, but I'm not. I'm just not. We're not known, and we're not going to buy high. We're not going to sell low. That's what gave us a good buy opportunity down here. Again, I did not take this all the way. Took some scalps on it in this range, but we ended up moving higher. I gotta have for myself, right? It's always good to hold yourself accountable. For myself, I have to work more on being able to hold these trades until they play out, even though it's choppy. As long as it's respecting my zone, hold the trade, right? And that's very important that we acknowledge and respect our trade analysis. Hourly time frame closes in 42 minutes. Now, we were talking about the 5-minute with 3 minutes left having enough time to reverse. The hourly has 42 minutes left to reverse. That's enough time, guys. That's plenty of time. We did just tap. So look at that. We just tapped the 74.28 level, and we did find some sellers. We do have a bit of a sell wall up there too. Yeah, we're going to see, man. We're going to see. I'm staying patient, not jumping in, not forcing. I'll wait. If sellers take control here, give us a strong 5 minutes to the downside, I'll possibly look for a retest. But right now, I don't want to be just like, oh, okay, let me go short here and get stopped out just for my zone to play out anyways. So be patient, let the markets come to you, do your own analysis, do your own due diligence, and have confidence in what you're looking at. VIX, look at this, guys. I mentioned the VIX key level down here, very close to that VIX key level too. So things are starting to line up for a reversal. Just got to be patient. Take a look at our weighted chart. And look at this, our weighted chart down here. This is our pre-market high. This was also a high from yesterday that we reacted to. So again, we're finding resistance at these highs. We're not buying highs, but we're also not selling just because of one sign of weakness. We are getting some good selling volume right now. Just be patient. We have 1:29 left. Guess what? I'm waiting for that 5 minutes to close. You guys should also wait for that to close. Depending on what time frame you're looking at, let it close, let it play out. We have 1:20. We know that's plenty of time for it to wick back up. We know it's plenty of time for it to hold back lower. Whatever it wants to do, we're cool with because we're not forcing trades. 30 minutes, got 11 minutes left. That too. This 5 minute close is bearish here. I'm going with the 30. I'm going with the hourly. We're going to reject back lower. I'm taking those shorts. Great. But waiting 5 minutes should not make or break your trade. Look at that. See that? Trying to hold again. Staying patient. I'm seeing a lot of sellers at the 7420 right here. Very aggressive seller. Definitely considering the shorts with the stop loss at the high that we made in that supply area, especially seeing how quick the reaction was to it. But 30 seconds left. I'd be more interested in these shorts if we could break below this first purple zone that we had marked out. We're going to delete these fair value gaps. These are not real areas of interest that we're watching. It's just an example for you guys. If you guys ever want to go over anything, please let me know. I'm always happy to help. Always happy to go over things, teach you guys stuff, break down market, break down some fundamentals. If you guys want to see any specific tickers or pairs, please let me know. If you guys want to see pairs, you want to see apples, oranges. I'm just kidding. But, well, Apple works. All right, so nice rejection candle there. And again, we do have some selling volume at this point. Could take it lightly, but I would just be pretty patient. Ideally, I would want to make sure we don't break that high that we were just at before. But remember, that's still that zone. So if we retest that zone, shorts aren't out of the picture yet. VIX trying to move up, weighted index trying to hold. Take a look at our equities. I'll let you guys know what equities are doing right now. Equities, look at that. Meta is still flying. NVIDIA is trying to pump again. Same with Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Google. And hey, guess what ES just did? Bang! Leave it alone. ES is trying to do what I talked about on the 15-minute time frame. Try to move up and then reject. Give me a 15-minute reversal. Then we'll line up into the 30-minute. Then we'll line up into the hourly. But just wait right now. Just wait. We got a big buyer up here on that breakout. If that guy fails, that's a nice little sign. If he continues, we just keep sitting on our hands. You don't lose money waiting. Remember that. Let's see. Gold. Nice. 4,100 on GC. Beautiful. 40.90 on XAU USD. But look at gold, guys. Something I want to point out with gold is it was not a clean move up. As much as if you're looking at the bars, you're looking at the candles. Oh, what do you mean? It's just green after green after green. But really take a look at it. Look at all of these wicks that formed. Just big wicks, big wicks, big wicks, wicks to the upside, wicks to the downside. This shows me that this move up was more like this, not like this. So when we have weakness on that move higher, we just want to wait. Can it continue? Of course it can. Can it fail? Of course it can. I'd love to get ES to fail here, man. Still a resistance point. NASDAQ did not hit that 29,667, 29,670 right there. Just a matter of being patient. VIX still trying to move lower. VIX also had that key level I wanted to see us hit. So it's just a matter of being patient. Come up with your pre-market plan and follow it. I mentioned in the pre-market, I'd possibly look for longs off of the demand zone down here. I know a lot of people might be looking for shorts. I also mentioned that I'd want to see us move higher first and then reverse back lower. Well, it's 10:22 right now. We're definitely going to possibly see that opportunity of a reversal back lower. Just got to be a little patient here. Just be patient. 2 minutes left on the 5-minute. Guys, let me know if you've taken any trades today, what you traded, and how your week is looking. Are you closing the week off green, closing it off a little red? Did you manage your risk properly? What was your best day this week? Weighted index is struggling to move lower. We are seeing some selling pressure here off of that buyer. But the question always becomes, does it really have follow through? And do we really want to try another short, knowing that, look, if we tried shorts over here, we would have been stopped out. So do we really want to keep trying to short every little sign of weakness? The answer to that is no, and it should be no. So wait for confirmation, wait for a higher time frame to give you that confluence and confidence, and just wait. Ideally, I'm still waiting for ES shorts. I do not want to be taking ES longs at these highs. And we also know the fundamentals are still leaning more bearish. I've been in XAU USD long since mid-Asia session. Oh, bro, you riding those longs? Nice, bro. Let's go. Huge move. Great work. Great job. Great job, brother. Good work. If ES can come back and take down 74.20, that would be amazing for the shorts. Without that, shorts ain't going to do anything yet. Just give it a little time. Be a little patient. Don't force any trades. Just be yourself. Be proud. Follow your system. Follow your setup. Follow your edge. GC longs from 4,000. Yo, no way. No way GC longs from 4,000. Get out of here, Seb. Get out of town. That's crazy. Good work, bro. Getting a little bit of selling, but look at this. 20 seconds left. We could just wick right back higher again. Can do whatever we want in these markets. Don't force anything. 7 seconds. Remember, look at the 15-minute time frame. 5 minutes on the 15. 30-minute also has 5 minutes. I'd want to see this 5-minute that we're getting right now give us a clean rejection off the zone, and that would give me strong confidence on the 30 minutes to reject. Without that, not going anywhere anytime soon, at least to the downside. We got some headlines there. See what that was. We are seeing some more buyers now too. Israel refuses to include complete withdrawal and final negotiation statement with Lebanon. Shocker, right? Aren't you guys shocked? Does look like buyers are trying to take this up another little leg here on ES. I'd be patient. I would not be jumping in longs. I would not be so quick to try shorts here either. Really just a matter of being patient and not forcing anything. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go, sellers. Weighted index moving up, VIX moving lower still. Yeah, I do think we're going to make one more little leg higher and then possibly find a reversal. So just be patient. I can't emphasize it enough, man. If you don't see a clear reason to take a trade, you don't have a trade, period. Let's see. NASDAQ getting weak. ES still trying to hold. Look at that. Do these sellers want to take ES, or are we going to fail and move back higher again? Check our 15-minute time frame. 15 still struggling. 30 minutes still struggling. Just wait and see. Wait and see. Sell XAUSD when it gets to 4,100. Cool, bro. Cool. I think, okay, we're close to it. We're close to it. I'd even wait for the 15 to close here. Give me a 15-minute candle that's giving us a rejection. I'll take it short on the next 15. I just hate that NASDAQ also did not reject that area, but that doesn't mean we're just going to jump in, right? We see ES could continue. We see NASDAQ's trying to hold. Weighted index is moving higher. VIX is chopping, which tells me we're running into a little bit of a wall here, but I'd want to be patient. Be patient. Be patient, be patient, be patient. Again, the low volume areas are usually the go-to. Just wait. We could, look, we wick that high, and then we pull back. Wick the high again, pull back. Staying patient, 30-minute, hourly, all these time frames. No reason to jump in. We had some longs down here. That's it. That is it. Let's see. Come on, ES. Give us something, bro. Give us something. Minute 57 left. Just remember, you cannot rush markets. Markets do not care when you want to be in a trade, when you want to be out of a trade, how long you want to be in a trade. Markets don't even know you're there. So we're just here to trade the markets and trade what we see, not what we feel. Equities are all flying at the moment. Apple's higher, Microsoft's higher, Meta's higher. Nvidia's still just chop city on Nvidia. Look at this, man. Chop, 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 chop. SpaceX, bro, I cannot stress it enough. Every time SpaceX dips below 150 and then climbs back higher again, everybody that bought in like 200 is like, oh, I knew I was right. Like, like it's going to happen. They're going to get crushed. They're going to get rolled. 15-minute closes in a minute. We have time, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? If this 15-minute close is strong, no upper wick, no trade. If it closes weak, then great. We do have a trade opportunity. 48 seconds. Seb, you said from 4,000 you were in GC longs? From what, 10 last night? You've been holding overnight? Seb, the third master of gold trading. Yes, sir. Asia session. Good work, bro. Good work. All right. That 15 is closing soon. We have 15 seconds left. Give it a little time. It does look like it's giving us that rejection candle that I'm looking for. 5, 4, 3, 2. It's going to be like, no, I'm not. 1. Yeah, it's a tougher read there. That's definitely a tougher read in these markets. And when it's a tough read, guess what? You're better off being patient or sizing down. If you really feel like, okay, look, we're finding resistance up here. We're not moving higher. This is the point I was waiting for. The 15-minute did give us a rejection candle. Then sure, take it. Stop at the highs. Know what your risk is. Are you risking $100 on your trade, $200 per trade? Okay, well, if you usually risk $200, this is a great opportunity to only risk $100. Right? This is a trade opportunity that we don't want to be forcing anything. See what I'm saying? We ain't over yet. It ain't over till it's over. It ain't over till it's over. And we could always add alerts too. I'd love to see us move lower. NASDAQ getting weak. Weighted index still trying to hold, though. I really want to see that weighted index start to dump, and it's not. And when that's the case, that means equities are strong. We don't want to be short ES and NQ when equities are strong. See what I'm saying? Don't want to be short when equities are strong. Why would you want to do that? There we go. NVIDIA with a little bit of a dump. That looks good. Give me some confidence, NVIDIA. Let's lead the pack here. Make money in your sleep. Yeah, there you go, bro. Awesome, man. Awesome. Now, I'm looking for similar price action that we've been seeing, which is range bound, where we move higher, then move lower. We don't move higher, pull back, continue to move higher. So just be patient here. Let things play out. If you don't see a trade, you don't take a trade. A strong break below 74.25 and we should be good. You could also do it that way too, right? If we break below this level, then I'll take it with my stop loss at recent high versus trying to take it exactly at that level and then it possibly moving against you. Very rarely will you find the pinpoint entry. So give yourself a zone to look at versus giving yourself a specific level to look at. Holding 74.26, we'll see. Yo, I know, right? We'll see. If we get below 74.26, though, we should be clear. Like we mentioned, there's 74.25. That's great. Strong drop to 74.20 would be fantastic. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm light size short ES off of the zone. Just again, same thing down here. We had the consolidation and then demand held. Now we're getting consolidation off of supply and we're trying to hold lower. So I'm fine with taking a stab at it and knowing that, okay, if it stops me out, my risk on this is $100. My risk on this is $120, right? I'm not full porting an account off of one trade, and you guys shouldn't be either. You should be able to take your trades with confidence, knowing that if I get stopped out, I just look for my next setup. That is it, man. We're not just traders. We're risk managers. We're risk analysts. Let's see. CVD, which is our cumulative volume delta, is barely positive. More so on the negative side, which means there's more selling than buying in the market right now. Minute 25 left. NVIDIA is trying to wick back higher, but still struggling. Weighted index is still holding new high of day. VIX is trying to turn around to the upside too, which again helps confirm the shorts on ES, but we're not getting a very strong confirmation. So very choppy markets. We want to be very patient. We know that buyers did have control today, but we also know overall, we're not just trading just today. We're looking at the overall analysis, right? And the overall analysis is lower at the moment. So that's why we're short. That's why we're being patient. And if it doesn't play out, we know that we could take a stop loss and take our next trade. No problem. See that? That's fine. Go do your thing. Do whatever you want, ES. I do not care. Not that you shouldn't care what happens, but you should be able to take trades without worrying, oh my God, it's running into my stop loss. I gotta cut it short. Like, nah, man, nah, bro, nah. 15-minute time frame. Ideally, I really want to see us below, like we said, this little fair value gap area. 15-minute fair value gap below it too. I just want to see these sellers take control. What will give me good confidence in these shorts is if we can remain below this 74.25, which we are definitely failing to do. Look at this 5-minute. Really choppy here. Looks like it does want buyers to try to step in, but because we're at a resistance point, I'm not going to go long. Let's see. Stay patient. Let markets come to you. Play your zones, play your levels, and play the right risk. There we go. Getting a little bit of a down move here. And then watch it. It spikes back up. Just wait, man. Just wait. I'm still thinking sellers can take control. We did not break this zone. So because we're holding this zone, I would want to be short off of this zone. It does stink that NASDAQ did not make its way to that area, but it was just a few points away. So I wouldn't completely disqualify ES from that area. 15-minute trying to push lower, like we said. It's got 9 minutes left in the 15. I really want to see this start to dump here. If we get a strong dump, we get below our recent 15-minute candle low, then it looks like we're basing to sell off. So those are the two main levels I'm watching on ES that we have to try to break below and hold. There we go, 74.21. Great. Get below 74.18 is the next area I'm watching. Nice drop there. Good selling pressure. Like to see it. Beautiful. 74.20. Blaze it. Nice little move. Beautiful. Staying patient. Trading it from this zone. First take profit could be VWAP. 4-1 right there. Want to see us below that 74.18 here on the 15-minute time frame. Take a look at our 15. Giving us a nice rejection candle there. Nas dropping. Love to see it. NVIDIA weak. Apple pulling back. Equities are all pulling back at the moment. Now, unfortunately, I'm not too convinced on the shorts based off of equities, as equities have shown a lot more strength today. So I might even look to take profit off the table once we break 74.18 here to take a few contracts off. I'm in 6 micros right now, real light size. So break below 74.18. I'll look for 74.17 for take profit 1, just to scale out of, like I said, just 2 contracts, lock in some profits, make it a no-lose trade. Risk becomes lighter on this trade as well. And here we go. We're getting there. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Let me know if you're in any trades. We're close. And bang, almost. So close. There it is. All right, out of 2, holding 4. Good little short. Stay patient. Let markets play out. 15-minute time frame. Still what we're keeping an eye on. 1 minute starting to dump very strong. Give us a strong break below this purple zone. That would be ideal, bro. If not, unfortunately, I do think we might try to hold it. I am deleting this purple zone. I'm glad I took some off the table because now I could hold this pullback with a lot more confidence and not be like, oh no, oh my God, we're pulling back. No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Again, it's a no-lose trade now. Move your stop loss down a little bit to 74.35 right over here, right? We're looking to see that sellers hold this. 25 seconds left. NVIDIA's still weak. SpaceX is dumping. Nice. That's what I like to see. That's why let's fake out those 1 minute, those 5-minute fair value gap people in here. Think that we're pulling back just to dump on them. VIX moving higher still too. Love to see it, guys. Great short here on ES. Fantastic. What do I have, an alert here? We could delete that. We're watching it. We don't need the alert. Boom. Boom. Yo, we bring the boom to market in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. Great move. Great move. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when the great move for you? 5 minutes, got 40 seconds left. I love that timing. I would love to see us try to hold below this area. Now what I am looking at is this low volume shelf that we have printed right here. We scale below that in the next 30 seconds. I have extreme confidence in these shorts and might even look to add on the next 5 minutes. If not, I'm definitely going to be a little more, not worrisome, but really more so looking to exit. With 17 seconds left, looking good. We do have a little support here. Looks all right, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, thank you, Matt. Appreciate you, bro. Let's see. Let's see. Good selling pressure. Like I mentioned before, CVD's cumulative volume delta. I have a volume analysis tool over here. It's showing negative, right? So more sellers have entered the market than buyers. Bang! That's what I'm talking about. Break that. Break that. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Run that up. Looking for VWAP. Let's take profit. VIX moving higher, confirming that trend. NASDAQ dumping. Love to see it. Great work, ladies and gentlemen. Drop some W's. Run that like button up. Let's hit 50. We give you guys bangers after bangers, guys. Market in the morning ain't no joke, baby. Ain't no joke. Look, we're in another little 5-minute fair value gap. Traders are thinking, oh, we're pulling back from it. Look, first sign of buyers. I got to go long now just for markets to probably dump on them again. Banger way to that. Bro, you know it, man. You already know, bro. You could take profit here, man. If you're not confident that we're going to continue lower, take profit here. No reason to keep risk on the table if you're in good profits and don't want to risk more on the table. Me, I like that 15-minute. Remember, look at that, man. We were trading off the 15 big W's, bro. Big W's. Bang. Bang. You guys ever see that? What's his name? The guy that sells insurance. He goes crazy. He'll like call somebody, he'll get rejected, and then he'll put his music on and do a dance. Massarelli or something. But yo, once you're dancing, that's your key to take profit. I'm still in it. Let it pull back. Let it do whatever it wants. We did have a headline right there, so I do just want to make sure that that's nothing crazy important for us. OPEC has started restoring Iraq's pre-war oil production. I mean, that's positive. That's a good thing. Israel refuses. We knew that one. We saw that one already. Just stay patient. What I'm looking for, what I see right here is this fair value gap, and we're trying to hold, but we have 3 minutes left. That's plenty of time to break this fair value gap, right? To trick all those people into thinking, oh, look, now I got to go long here. And then, boom, we dump right through it. So stay patient. Like I said before when we were over here, if you're confident and you're happy in the profits, take it. I was trading it off the 15-minute time frame. It's got 3 minutes to close. I had my entry up here. Okay, great. If it does come back to stop loss, I already took profit off the table. I'm fine with that. That's okay. You just see me like flip my desk and just knock everything over. No, I'm kidding, guys. It's all about risk management. Risk management is key. We did have a 15-minute fair value gap there too. Again, just sort of going through the motion of the ocean. 220 left here on the 5-minute. We are seeing some buyers off of a passive buy wall at 74.08, but I'm not thinking we're going to fully reverse. And guess what? If we do, it happens. It absolutely happens. It's why we take profit. It's why we have multiple take profit levels. Protect yourself. Take profit. Take in those profits. Like Nalab says, right? Take that profit, put it in the bank, go have a nice dinner. Minute 52 left. And what I'm looking for, remember, guys, I said this 10 minutes ago. I want the 15-minute to close below 74.18. The 15-minute could close below 74.18. I have plenty of confidence to hold the short position. If we close above 74.18, I'm probably going to look to exit. But look at that. Another drop. Look at that. Those buyers, people bought these highs because they thought the fair value gap was holding. Then it doesn't. So we're trusting our trade. Markets aren't just going to go from entry to take profit. So we're just going to be patient. Imagine all the pain that gets caused, all the retail that just jumped in right now because they thought this fair value gap was holding because they're not looking at the bigger picture. They're not looking at the fact that we ran into a higher time frame resistance. They're not looking at the fact that the Fed is hawkish, which puts us more in a bearish and selling market. How can we short SpaceX stock? Well, I'm pretty sure it's got options. SpaceX has options on it. You could buy a put option on it. You could sell the actual stock if you have a broker and you have leverage on the broker. You got to be careful with selling stock, though. It's unlimited downside to that. But let's be real, it's SpaceX. I don't like our weighted index over here trying to hold, but 34 seconds left. I told you guys my plan. My plan is to hold until the 15-minute closes. And if it's below 74.18, I'm going to hold the trade. If it's above 74.18, I'm going to try to exit the trade. What I'm doing is I'm managing the trade that I'm already in. Yo, if we dump here, man, oh my goodness. What up, Riley? What's going on? Yes, sir, W's. What is the blue volume on the right? So this is called the volume profile. Volume profile, it's different. All right, so we closed below, so I am going to hold this trade. Volume profile gives us an idea of where volume is traded per price level. So it's different from the subgraph volume. Subgraph volume down here shows us how much volume was traded on the candles. Volume profile shows us how much volume was traded per each price level. So that's volume profile. Keep an eye on this. I'm fine if it pulls back a little bit. Just being patient, waiting for it to either play out or go hit stop loss. I'm cool with either way. Right now, my stop loss is at 74.34. That's right up over here. My entry was 70 or 29. So it's a 5-point stop loss. Looking for a 40-point move. That's nice. Selling. Unfortunately, we are consolidating on this area, which makes me think that buyers are trying to hold, which would make me almost want to exit a few more contracts to lock in those gains, especially because it is Friday. But we've been seeing very choppy price action where we consolidate, we move higher, consolidate, move lower, and not respect fair value gaps. So that's what was keeping me in this trade. I'm going to stay patient. Like I said, goes to stop loss, it goes to stop loss. My trade analysis was if the 15-minute can close more bearish, I'm holding. Right now, this area becomes my new resistance point right there. So we could pull back all the way to 74.26 for all I care. I'm still holding. I get stopped out if we run up to 74.34. And again, all the traders trying to trade this fair value gap to go higher, they might be right. That's fine, bro. That's where risk management comes in. That's why I short the highs and not short the lows. VIX trying to move lower, weighted index struggling. Nvidia has been trying to move lower the past few candles. If we get a stronger move on Nvidia to the downside here, it'll definitely give us some confidence. I just realized, guys, we are way over our market in the morning stream time. Usually we wrap these up around 10:30. We'll let it play out a little bit more. What happened last time when I did this is we ran the stream longer. I ended the stream. We were in an oil short. And as soon as I ended the stream, it just shot up like crazy. So I might actually be more interested in cutting this trade. Let's see. Buyers are definitely struggling to bring us higher, but sellers are also struggling to bring us lower. Again, 15-minute time frame gave me the confidence, not jumping in anything like crazy. Now I'm not getting out up here either. Imagine getting out up here just for markets to move in your favor to the downside again. No, thank you. Ooh, Nvidia took a bit of a turn to the upside, though. Let's be careful there. SpaceX trying to hold. Equities are trying to hold, which is a red flag for the shorts at the moment. Just being patient. Watching markets, letting them react, and respecting my setups. Gold chopping. Yeah, I mean, if you're not confident in it, take profit. We're still in profit. Until I speak too soon and it comes right back to break even. No, I'm just kidding. But that's fine, man. I said we could run right back up to 28 for all I care. Where can we look for retest buys on gold? Good question. Well, the retest probably would have been the bottom of this zone. At this point, it's moving higher. I wouldn't be jumping in gold right now. If I was looking for a gold trade, which ES is holding up, guys, be careful. It does look like we're trying to turn back around here. Gold, I like 40.70 for a pullback, which is unfortunately about 30 points away, and that would be 40.56 on XAU USD. Bro, look at this, man. I said it could pull back to 26 to 28 for all I care, and it is doing just that. Markets are like, you sure about that, Kevin? Are you sure we can do that? Are you dead ass? 10 minutes left in the 15. I'm not freaking out. That's plenty of time for it to wick back lower. 23 seconds left in the 5-minute. Sean, absolutely. See you next week. Have a great weekend, guys. If you're wrapping it up, have a great weekend. I really wanted to try to let this 15 play out, let this 5 play out too. We pulled back right to that area I said we could pull back to. We're trying to reject it. Definitely struggling right now, though. Only way I'm getting out of this trade is at stop loss or take profit. I'm not forcing anything. I'm not getting out right here. Got to see Nvidia start dumping, though. Weighted index is still trying to make new high a day. Here's some selling pressure on ES. I do almost want to move my stop loss down a little bit, but I feel like that'd be shooting myself in the foot. So we'll let it play out. Could possibly look to even exit a couple or exit one contract. I'm only in 4 micros right now, so it's real light size. Nothing crazy. Yeah, I'll see if we get a stronger breakdown. 67 to 70, good for retest buys. Let's see. On XAU USD or GC? Which one are you looking at? we still have more of a negative delta. So it's like I'm still selling with the sellers. The follow through is lacking. Gamma's negative. We're in a negative gamma right now, which means more volatility. Be careful. On XAUUSD. XAUUSD, around, yeah, what'd you say, 67 to 70? Yeah, it's not a bad spot. I would look more so for the area that price consolidated previously, which is 53 to 65. NASDAQ holding, really not a fan of the NASDAQ holding. I'm going to give it a little time, but I probably will look to exit a couple more contracts if we fail to move on lower. 316 left. And again, not to mention 15 minutes got 8 minutes left here. If this 15 minute, now look what we can do. So we can now do our new analysis, new trade management. I need to see us now below 74.15. If we fail to get below 74.15 on this 5 minute time frame, or at least fail to get close to it, yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking to get the heck out of this trade. But let markets play out. Let markets do their thing. Don't get chopped up when you're already in a trade. Don't get faked out when you're already in a trade. When you had your entry, you have your stop loss, you have your take profit. This could just be the breakdown in our favor and retest to continue lower. So why would I want to get out on the retest? That's just silly. If anything, wouldn't we want to add on the retest? Don't be retested. Get it? Retested. It's the nice thing. Let's all right, let's see, guys. Let's see. NASDAQ. There we go, NQ. See our equities. NVIDIA with a turn to the downside. SpaceX with a drop right there. Love to see that. Come on now. Give us a drop here. 210 left on the 5 minute. I mentioned I wanted to see this 5 minute come towards 74.15. It's at 74.18 right now. There we go. Dollar crossing a key level. Just got an alert on the dollar. Dollar moving higher, which would be gold moving lower, so be careful on that. I am going to look to probably get out of a contract down here. Let's see. See if we get a drop. Minute 38 left. We'll let that minute 38 try to play out. Oops. Holy patience, though, in these markets. These markets are calling for the most amount of patience, like, ever. Here we go. Big seller. See if that has some follow through. We're ES short right now. ES over here, short from 28. Now we're trying to hold that. I'll get out of, we'll play it safe. I'm trying my best to let this 5 minute close here. So let's do that. Let's try to let this 5 minute close. There we go. And don't forget, we were looking at the 15 minute time frame. Well, how good does that look right there? Looks great to continue. So just be patient. Try to let this play out. I don't like that those sellers kept failing to bring us lower. So we'll see. But we have 40 seconds left in this 5 minute. This 5 minute did give us a nice rejection. 30 seconds struggling. There we go. Getting a little move. No. Yes, no, maybe so. I don't like these sellers keep failing to bring us lower, so I will get out of one contract. Oh, there we go. You see, I keep saying it, and then markets are like, wait, we're trying. Being patient here. 15, there's 74.15. Yeah, I'm going to get out of one just to, again, play it safe here. Take profits. Be smart. Keeping stop loss at 74.33. And now at this point, I can let my trade run. If it goes to stop loss, whatever, goes to take profit, even better. We're looking for the 15 minute to try to continue lower. So we've got 5 minutes left in the 15, so we'd really need to see that down move now on this 5 minute that we're in right here. So if we start breaking lower, gives me strong confidence. We're holding these shorts, and we'll cha-cha slide into next week. Sellers trying to hold. NVIDIA still looking weak. Nice little drop on NVIDIA there. Apple hitting a bit of a wall here at 280. Look at Apple struggling to move higher. I need to make sure that Apple does not spike up. If Apple spikes up, That'd be a red flag. Right now it's trying to reject. NVIDIA's rejecting, Google's rejecting, NVIDIA's rejecting, Meta's rejecting. SpaceX was trying to move lower but struggling. We'll see. We shall see. There we go. Another nice little drop there, giving me confidence. Love to see it. Boom, guys. Let's go. We take out this 74.20. We're solid. Look at that. This 15-minute pushed back red. Love to see it. That's why we got to have confidence in our trade setups, guys. That's a W right there. www.maketrades. All right, let's see. Don't be too confident. Once you get too confident, that's when markets like to take your money. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be wrapping up the stream right. All right, if you guys run the like button up, throw some W's in the chat, then we'll let this 15-minute candle close, and then we will wrap up the stream. There's extra 30 minutes for you guys here on Market in the Morning. So run that like button up. Let's run it towards 50. I think we're at 38 right now. You guys are lacking today, man. Me and the lab come in, we give you all our effort, all our time. You guys can't even give us 50 likes on YouTube. Look at this, man. Look at that. Trying to hold. Yeah, not a fan of that anymore. 3 minutes left in this 5-minute. Might just look to kill the trade here. I'm sure glad I've been taking profit along the way, because that makes this hold that much easier. 15-minute time frame. Could just keep an eye on the 15 now. We got 3 minutes left on the 15. Really need to see us below 74.09. We get below 74.09. Strong confidence. Yo, you guys are the best. You guys ran that up to 45 real quick. 5 likes away. Yeah, drop some W's. Keep that going. 2:09 left on the 5-minute. Want to see this start to reject. Unfortunately, if it doesn't, I am going to move my stop loss to break even. So it's a no-lose trade. So stop loss now becomes 74.28 right over here. So if we do just spike up here with 2 minutes left, that's a red flag right there. So I'd rather be out of it and call it a break-even trade. Well, not even. It would still be an in-profit trade. This is a no-lose trade right now. So that way I could let it run if it wants to, but I could also stop out at break-even on these last few contracts. It's trying its best to move higher, I will say. Delta's a lot more negative. Still a lot more selling pressure in the markets. Options markets are positioned to the downside at the moment. And this was our remarket plan, was a sell off of this zone. So I do want to try my best to try to hold it, because if I get out here and then I come back and look at the charts later and I see it does continue, I'm going to feel like an ass. We don't want to be an ass. We want to be a trader. We want to follow our plan. We want to follow our system, even if that means taking a loss. 50 seconds left, unfortunately. We are running out of time for us to push back lower here. So if it does come back up to 28, I am out of this trade. Some buyers coming in, being patient. Weighted index still moving higher, unfortunately. Apple tried to spike but failed. NVIDIA also tried to do the same thing and failed. 15 seconds left, and that is not looking good on that 15-minute time frame. 12 seconds left. It needs to dump for these last 9 seconds. If it doesn't, I'm going to be exiting this trade. 5 seconds. It's trying to dump. It's trying to get there. 2, 1. Not the most ideal. Not the most ideal. I am going to look to exit out of this trade. See if we get one more drop before we go. Guys, again, run that like button up. I appreciate you all for being here. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I will see you all back here on Monday. All right, later, everybody. Peace. And yeah, I'm going to look to cut this trade like on the next little drop if we get one more little drop over here. All right, peace out, everybody. See you guys later. Don't forget to follow on Instagram, marketai.insights, and you follow my Instagram is trading with Kev. All right, later, y'all.